Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of the Afridamos Report. I want to welcome all of you, St. James, KS, Valerie, and all the other people I haven't mentioned. You're all welcome to the show today. So today's show is going to be a discussion about an interview that I did on the Kenganda channel. That's O'Shea's channel. Actually, that reminds me of, I want to make a disclaimer here and an announcement, just few house rules that I need to set here. So when I bring a topic, know that I've researched the topic and that's the topic I want to talk about. So when I open the phone lines, I don't care who it is, please do not mention another YouTuber's name that I am not talking about. Don't mention another YouTuber's name. Do not write another YouTuber's name in my chat room if I am not talking about that individual. This is just simple rules I want people to follow. Because yesterday I noticed, with the topic, even though, yes, it's good, we had somebody calling from Uganda, it was a little bit of derailment that he had to throw, O'Shea's name in it, and that's not what my topic was about. So if I'm not talking about any individual, you don't bring up that name, because it is my responsibility to, I'm the one bringing the topics here. So why should, bringing up other people's name is disrespectful if I'm not doing that. Please, let's make sure we follow that. Don't bring up other YouTubers' name or write their name in my chat. If you want to do that, you go do that in their chat rooms. Whatever issues you have with them, you settle it over there, but not over here. Please, I would hope everybody would, respect that house rule. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. But today's topic, like I said, it's a follow-up from an interview that I gave on the Kenganda channel, which is O'Shea's channel. There's been few reactions about, this interview that I gave. So our guest here today, Mr. MUCHIRI, is a Kenyan YouTuber. He did a reaction video to what I had to say. So I have his video here, and we would go through it and break it down. But Mr. MUCHIRI has been sent, the link. So hopefully the lights are on in wherever he's at, so he can join us here today. Oh, look at that. Mr. MUCHIRI is here already. It looks like the lights are working wherever he's at. Let me bring him here so he can introduce himself. But before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, I know this chat room sometimes gets really vicious. Be respectful of the guests, please. Keep it clean. It's just a discussion. We agree to disagree. Let me bring him on here. Hey, Mr. Mich- hold on. I don't want to butcher your name. Give me a. I know how to say it.
Go
Muchuri.
ahead. Just butcher it. Let me
Hold
hear you
on.
say it.
Muchuri.
Mushiri.
Mushiri.
Yes.
Mushiri, welcome. I see that the lights are on there today, so life is
Yeah.
good. Thank
Life
you.
is good. Lights has been on for a very long period. We don't have blackouts as you seem to think.
Okay. So, Mr. Mushiri, can you introduce yourself to the viewers here? Let them know who you are and where you're located at.
My name is Mushiri wa Muriu, and that simply means someone who talks a lot, like maybe a lawyer in Kikuyu, my tribe.
Okay.
And Muriu means a drunk, so it's a lawyer who's drunk, a drunken lawyer. So, but anyway, it is what it is. I'm a Kenyan, and I'm from the Kikuyu tribe. I didn't need to mention that, but again, me being an African, a proud African, I prefer sharing my culture with the world because they need to know. I do content on YouTube that really is more of a reaction kind of thing, maybe taking Western kind of things and maybe giving it a perspective of an African, maybe just sharing what I think about it and if it can compare to what's happening here.
Well said. Well said. So yeah, before we get into it here, Mr.
Mushiri.
Mushiri, I have the C is silent, right? Mushiri.
It's in my tribe. The C is S.
Oh, it's S. Okay, okay.
Yes.
Then that would help me. Mushiri.
Yes.
So Mushiri, as you guys heard him say, he does reaction videos, and he did reaction on an interview that I did on the Kenganda channel. I have a clip of it here, and we will get into it, and we'll talk about what we agree on, what we disagree on what he thought I meant by some things that I said. But before we get into that, you guys know it is tradition here, especially it's the weekend. I have to play the Pan Africanist church music. So I'll bring that on so that the people can get in the groove. Let's hit it. Yeah. Mushiri, do you like the Pan African church music there? That's from the choir.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. But people, I must let you know, Mushiri, maybe he's been a little bit kicked back today, but the guy, he's fiery when he's doing his reactions. He doesn't hold back, and you get to see that in this video here. So I'm gonna put up the clip, and we would go through it, and we'll agree to disagree, but hey, we'll get to it in a sec here. So let's hear the first parts of it, okay?
It's Mushiri wa Muriu, and today I just decided to do something different. This was sent to me to my email, and I'll put it in my description box. You can send me clips and whatever it is you want to send me, feedback, anything to my email. And this was sent to me by someone who watched this before and decided, you know what, let me just give a feedback to this video, because this guy is really just talking a bunch of negativity of.
Okay. Muchiri, so you feel that the video, because you started out by saying I was talking a lot of negativity. So so from what you heard, like what made you just go straight to the conclusion that I was being negative?
The idea that you can just say that Africans are lazy, first of all, I had never heard that before, so it caught me by surprise. I was like, yo, why is this someone, an immigrant who's been in Africa for some time and just talking like we are like some wild animals, like you're grouping us in a very bad way.
But but don't you think you were the one that was adding all that to it, because I never said all those things?
You didn't say Africans are lazy?
No, I did say most Africans are lazy.
Then you said
Yeah,
Africans are
but
lazy.
so you've never heard, even in Kenya, you've never heard like or see that people, you never seen lazy people.
I mean, like I said, like you cannot group a whole continent and say that Africans are lazy.
No,
If
I
they are
said
lazy, if some people are lazy, like around me, yes, I know a few people I can say are lazy. Same case that to the U.S. Like it doesn't apply to only Africa. Even in China, even in Asia, like lazy people are everywhere.
yeah.
So for you
I
to
mean,
just
I
say Africans are
agree.
lazy, that's the point where I disagree. If you say there are some few people who are lazy around the world, I would completely agree with you.
Yeah, but when I said that, what did you gather? Did you gather that I was saying like all Africans are lazy, or most?
Well,
Not all, not all, but
how
most.
how the way the clip was set up, you just said, people criticize me when I say Africans are lazy. That's I'm paraphrasing what you said, but that's basically what I heard.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you say that, then for me it sounds like you're saying Africans are lazy. Okay.
Okay, we'll let it play, because so when I say that, I mean most, not all. If you
Okay.
compare, if you're comparing, Africa to most places, it would make Africans look super lazy.
Well, can you give an example then?
Well, just look at the how things are ran in Africa, compared to places we call first world.
Does that equals Africans are lazy?
Well, we're trying to be developed to that standard, right? We're looking we're looking to other people, to try to improve our ways to those to that type of living.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, we have our own life. Even if we look at how we lived before, it was completely different. So we yes, we I'm not against adapting to the new system of maybe being westernized, if we want to call it that way. It's not something that
Yeah,
I'm against.
but
However, we were living quite a different life before, and if you just want us to like completely jump ship, and just live like the Western world, and they've been developing the countries for so many years, of course we are behind because it's not our system.
yeah, but if you look at, right, we go by what most Africans say they want. The things that Africans say they want, that would make African life easier. These things do not just happen out of the
How
blue,
how did you come up with the idea that that is what most Africans want?
because
How did you conclude to that?
that's what they talk about. Even in Africa here,
Have you talked to most Africans?
yeah, I've talked to plenty. In fact, even from your country, I've met a lot of Kenyans, that I've talked to. I've met a lot of different Africans. The advantage about being in the United States, you get to meet lots and lots of different Africans from different parts of Africa. You see, and you get to meet, other people from other parts of the world, and you get to see, you know, and compare, work ethics and what people value, and you're able to see these things. So the things that Africans, majority, not all, but most, they do want these things. Okay?
Well, that is because that is the current system. Of course, I would like to see most African countries develop. That is not the issue here. The issue is for you to take a continent that was just previously colonized. Most of our countries are not even 60 years old.
Most places have been colonized. Even China that you talk of,
True.
Singapore,
China,
South Korea.
even the people who colonized us were colonized. It's not a new system. That's not the argument. But it's a new system in the continent, and you are comparing us to the people who colonized us. How can we even be?
But I'm not.
How can we be better than the teacher and we are not even mature yet?
Well, see, that's where I think you got it wrong. I'm not comparing Africans to. I'm not saying they have to be like other people. But for example, if you say colonization, right? We talk of like China, for instance. China was colonized. You see, up till even China, not even that long ago, less than 40 years ago, China was pretty poor. And they were able to pull themselves, out of the poverty. Right? Okay. So, but if you talk to most Africans, are you telling me Africans do not want to be, are you telling me Africans want to be poor? They want to be in poverty?
Don't put words in my mouth. That's not what
I'm asking you.
No, that's not the point anyway.
No, but
the point is you're comparing Africans. That is what you compared it to. If you look at most Western countries,
even
compared to Africa,
in the West,
you conclude that Africans are lazy, right?
Yeah.
You are comparing us to people who colonized us,
compare
people who
America,
brought the system to this continent, right?
So if you
it was
compare
not a system,
China,
and you are perfectly fine.
Wait, if you compare China, right? China to the UK today or Japan, these are places that colonized China. Would you say China can compete against them?
Compete to like with the US?
Compete, yeah, even with the US.
I mean, yes, and that's not the point really. There are people who are going to develop faster than other countries. That is always the case. If a country developed faster than another country, it does not equal the other country is lazy. It could be just that maybe the leadership is bad. Okay.
So let me play this. We'll get deeper. I like the fire that you're bringing. Let's hear more.
Continent Africa as a whole. He's an immigrant from Gambia, I believe. And he was hosted by O'Shea Duke Jackson on his Kenganda channel. Yeah. So basically, I didn't think O'Shea really pushed back on this guy's ideologies or ideas. I don't know if he agrees with them or he just wanted the guy to talk his talk. But yeah, so I just decided, you know what, let me just give my 2 cents into what the guy is saying, maybe push back a little bit, or maybe a lot, because there's a lot that I really thought was not accurate at all. Okay, so without further ado, let's go to O'Shea Duke Jackson's channel.
Appreciate you for coming to the Kenganda.
If you're looking to be,
so very orthodox.
Say black people are lazy. Okay, prove me wrong. Most Africans, even let's say black around, because when I say
so, yeah, that's how he started his talk. He says Africans are lazy. I just can't believe someone can just bracket someone who is actually an African who moved to the US. He says 20 years ago, and just now start saying that Africans are lazy.
Muchiri, I actually didn't just start saying that. I didn't just start observing this. I've seen it at a very early age. And when I say, because we're broadcasting here and we're going by the majority, have you ever been to the US or outside of Kenya, to one of these first world countries?
No.
Okay. So I can understand why you would react the way you're reacting. And I noticed most of the time you were basing it off of Kenya. Maybe Kenya is doing well, but majority of Africa is not. Would you agree to that?
I could also say I've not been to most African countries.
But you don't have to go there to know this.
Well, you clearly just
Okay,
dismissed
for
my
instance,
argument because I've not been to the West. So
okay,
I
I'll
can
give you
easily
an
say the same thing.
I'll give you an example. When there's disasters, let's say in most African countries, if there's disaster, where do the help come from?
From the UN.
From the UN.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The UN, the EU, the United States, right?
Yeah, the Red Cross.
It's not from other African countries.
Well, other African countries do help as well.
No, but I'm just, because I want us to have like a honest conversation, So if we're gonna, because the reason I want us to work it, step by step. Because
I do not have to agree with you so that to
Right.
seem honest. I can easily tell you Kenya is helping Somalia. We have seen Uganda helping Rwandese even when they had the genocide. We always help each other, especially the neighboring countries. So it's not that I'm being disgenerous. Whatever. I'm not trying to be fishy or anything.
Yeah, I've seen that even in Kenya, right, where they have the refugee resettlement program and stuff. Those are usually very, temporary. Those
No, they're not
refugees.
temporary.
No, but
Kenya
majority.
Kenya has hosted Somali refugees for more than two decades.
Yeah, but majority of those people, why I said it's a is for transition. Most of them are eventually they are brought here to America and other Western countries.
They could be brought to America. I'm not saying they are not brought to America, but
why is that?
Majority of these people. Let me talk about the refugees. If you want me to talk about them, they have been in Kenya for more than 20 years. A majority of them are not in the U.S. You understand?
No, I get that. They're not because they are right next door, right?
The point is Africans do help other African countries. You can't say we always expect other people from other countries to help us. Yes, and they do help us. I'm not denying that either.
But you do.
For you to also
do,
say that we don't help each other, it's a bit.
But do you
of a
know
false
that
idea.
do you know those refugees, right? That help. Where do you think that money comes from?
From the Kenyan government?
No, it's not. It's coming from the
is.
UN. No, seriously, look this up.
I mean, we also have Kenya in fighting Al-Shabaab. Kenyan.
Well,
defense
yeah,
forces.
that's for their own protection. That's a different
it's not.
ballgame.
It's not from our own protection. We went there to help them solve their problems.
Yeah, but if you have, a smoke, if you have fire right next door, and Al-Shabaab have done some damages in Kenya itself, right? And they would have to, face that and combat and make sure that doesn't happen. I understand. I get that. But I'm talking in terms of generality, generality. Even Uganda, Kenya, I've met Somalis. I've met Somalis here, tons of them. There's lots of them here. And they would tell you, they're from they would tell you the camps that they came from it's in Kenya. Mm-hmm. It's in Kenya. So
Do you think the majority of them are in the US?
I don't know.
No, they're not.
Yeah, but there is enough of them here that to a point that they're even able to elect their own Congress representative. There's a lot of them.
From my understanding, the US is a hub of all nations. So you're inevitably going to have Somalis there, even if they had conflicts. So even Kenyans are there. They have communities in the US, Kenyans.
Okay.
So it's not that Somalis are just being helped there.
Okay, I'll allow this to play. and we'll hear your take on it, because that would make it easier to talk about it. Because I understand, like, when we, like these things we're talking about, the refugee, that's not African money. I know that for a fact. That's
It's not,
even
I'm not saying
Uganda.
it's African money, but I'm just I just don't agree with your idea that Africans don't help each other.
Okay. Well, maybe they might want to, but they don't have the means. They haven't created the means.
It's
The
not a
means
matter
is
of
not
how
there.
much they help. It's a matter of if they do.
Yeah, but the means is not there. That's my point. It's not a matter of, if they want to or not. I'm talking about the means, the infrastructure. It's
Well,
not there.
let's agree to disagree then.
Okay.
You know, he's that's how he's starting his talk. So I don't know. It's kind of off-putting, but I'll try to stick through this one so that you guys see the mentality of an immigrant from Africa, and it's just now talking shit. But let me just take it back.
I can assure you, man. Most Africans, even, let's say, black around, because when I say, they're like, oh, you say black people are lazy. Okay, prove me wrong. Because a country where people work, compare African countries to other places where people actually work. Look, I've lived in Africa, 2 different African countries as a kid. You see what I'm saying? Do you know?
So it's kind of crazy that he lived in Africa in 2 different countries, and he specifies he lived there as a kid. For me, a kid is someone who's very young. Like,
I wasn't very young. I want to clear that, but I'll let you go on.
maybe teenage at most and below, right? How do you make a conclusion as a young person, as a kid, in his terms, that like people are lazy in Africa? Is there anyone who, I mean, I could be wrong, but is there anyone that had that a very good grasp of the world, of how everything works as a kid? I mean, we all grew into these things. We learn these things when you're growing up, and we start understanding how different parts of our society operate, and he was a kid, and he just concludes that what he saw there was laziness, So for me, him basing all these assertions on a lens of him as a kid is kind of a negative for him,
How hard it is to get people to come to work. Even if they're working, how incompetent they are. The stealing, they can take your money and disappear.
Okay, I have to pause again. So he says people don't show up for work. First of all, as a kid,
I know, Muriu, you were putting emphasis on saying as a kid. No, I wasn't.
Yes.
I wasn't like a little kid. I understand what's happening in Africa. I've seen
How old
these
were you?
things. I was at least about an older teenager.
About
High
14,
school.
15?
No, older than that.
How old?
Yeah, older than that. I
So
went to
teenage.
high school.
So teenage, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I said.
And if you look at it, right, this is why I was asking you, have you ever lived elsewhere? Because if you do, you will actually see that, because I know Africans, even in Africa, maybe not in Kenya, you're part of Kenya whatsoever, but there are people that think maybe places like America is like it happened by magic, like somebody waved a magic wand and it happened. But no, it's actually through work. Even here in America,
Slave work.
even here, that slave work. Are you
Yeah,
telling me? The skyscrapers that you see in America, the roads, the people that
but
built it, they didn't.
the foundation was also through slavery.
That's actually not true, but we can agree to disagree. That is actually not true. But
Okay, let's agree to
yeah,
disagree. I
America
also don't
didn't.
have the if I
Yeah,
do not have the facts fully on something,
right,
I will let you have it.
right.
However, from my
Okay,
understanding
what
is that
about places like Japan? Because you look at it in Africa, they would tell you, right, that okay, we look up there, like we want to be like this place, we want to build it like this, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It makes life easier. It makes things happen for people. But even here in America, not all, but most, if you look at it, the things that require real development, for instance, like I've worked in the construction industry before, you would hardly run into Africans in that field of any stripes. You would hardly run into them. Most of them would tell you they do like what they call the easy jobs. They would call it easy job, like home care, like you go and take care of those people. Or they would drive Ubers, like things that require like actual skills to go build. Most are not attracted to that. They call it difficult work. You see? So places, for example, that people look up to, like let's say Japan. The Japanese have never invented a car or a plane. Did you know this? All these things we
well,
see.
you need to understand. Technology does not have to happen everywhere. It's
No,
not the
but
invention has to start at a point, and then
okay.
it
Well,
grows
let me
and it
finish.
goes to other places.
But there's a reason why I'm saying this. Like they've never invented any of these things that they are producing today. So they had their own people that were coming here to America to get into these fields in numbers, and then they learn how to, re-improvise it. They reverse engineered it, you see, and they made it their own. China, the same thing. They've never invented anything on their own. Everything is reverse engineered.
Okay.
So I have these conversations with, I know maybe people start hearing this on the internet now that I put up a channel to talk about it, but I've always talked about this. Like I talked about, in Africa, people would steal your money, right? And your counter was, what about, doesn't this happen in the States? Yeah, sure. But in the
Yeah.
United
So
States, for
thieves are
example,
everywhere.
no, but like you, in the
Thieves are
United
everywhere.
States, yeah, but in the United States, for instance, there is repercussions. You can actually, like, for instance, if you employ someone, you employ somebody like in your store, they're not gonna steal your money and get away with it.
Oh,
So
same case
I'm
to
not.
Africa.
Are you serious right now?
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, you think we don't have police here, like to take care of things
No,
or to report
but
cases? We
what I'm
have a
saying,
system.
because I'm speaking from two worlds here. Okay, I'm speaking from two worlds. It doesn't mean that I don't know Africa. I know Africa. Like I said.
From the way you're speaking, for me it seems like you
So
don't
so
really
so for
understand much.
instance, right? Are you telling me, because I've even not that long ago, I heard a Kenyan. This is not just one Kenyan, but the one that is on record online. That's not even. It's less than a month ago. I'm listening to him talked about how he opened up a store in Kenya. He put people there, the people he employed, they just absconded with his money. They stole all the money and the merchandise. Right? In
Okay,
America, yeah,
I do not know who you're talking about.
well, you're gonna, like, I'm not saying, when I'm talking, I'm not saying you're not gonna have thieves here. Like, there's thieves everywhere, but not when you employ somebody. You're not gonna hear that here in America. somebody is working for you in your store, and steal the money,
Well, even if you want to put it that way, it's not as common as you want to put it. Even if you just said you only had one case, can you prove? Can you give?
Oh
Like,
no,
more
I
cases
said
than-
I've even, because if I try to say it, it would sound like I'm being biased. But there are tons of people, a lot of the scammings that you hear about that are outrageous, it's usually from African countries because there's no regulations. I'm speaking of things that, because like in the United States, the way things are set up, the way it's set up is hard to do that. It's really
Okay.
hard to do that, you see. But in Africa, most countries, let me rephrase that.
Talk about Gambia, the country you know more about.
Well, I'm telling you what most Africans are saying. I hear these stories from different parts. Even your own country, Kenya. I know
And
lots
I'm
of
not saying we
Kenyans.
don't have. I did not say we don't have like people who are untrustworthy. That is not the case, really. There are
Yeah, but
people there are
it's
people who obviously you have to vet people who you're employing.
but why is it so prevalent over there? That's my whole point.
I don't think that's the case.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
How did you know that people are not showing up for work? Were you employing people? Oh, is there someone who you asked to come to work and they did come to work? Because I can tell you one thing: there's a big, huge number of youths who are unemployed in the country, especially in Kenya and also in Africa in general. So people not showing up for work is kind of crazy because it doesn't happen. Because people.
You said that's kind of crazy. That doesn't happen. People not showing
It's not.
up.
It doesn't happen to the magnitude that you want to make it seem like.
But
it
what
does.
magnitude am I putting?
Like you were saying, like, oh, people don't show up for work. Like it's like everyone. No, it's not.
No,
Like, yes, of course, there are
that-
people who are going. There are people, a few people who are going to not show up for work. That's obviously true, and it's true also in the U.S. There are people who are going to be given a job and they won't show up, right? You want to say every person in the U.S. is just very responsible and they're going to show up every single time?
But you see, because if we want to compare the two, right? Like in the US, it's a completely different ball game. Like the responsibility is entirely mostly on you. You see what I'm saying? So
And
so
the
there's
the responsibility for me in Kenya is not on me. I am responsible for my own life.
well, okay, maybe you're different, but most people,
No, not
even
most
if you
people.
look at
Let me talk about Kenyans.
So how
Most
come
Kenyans are
things are
responsible
not-
for their own country,
But
for
how
their
come?
own lives.
Okay, then how come things don't work as they're supposed to then?
Well, because we are still a developing nation, and that's just it.
So wait. So it's a developing nation. For how long?
Yeah. For we actually Kenya we just became to we are almost getting to a second world kind of country.
Okay,
We are-
that's what
we are
I'm
doing
saying.
good. We are getting
Yeah,
better.
But you
So
see,
it's not for how long. We're going to get there. There are people who are going to be slower than others. That's just how things
Well,
are.
well, I know.
We are not always going to be number one every single time.
Well,
There are
I
people
get
who
it,
are going to
Kenya.
come second and third.
Okay, I get it. Kenya might be doing well. Okay, but let's speak of the majority here. I'm speaking of majority. This is why I'm not like nitpicking, specifying countries. I'm talking about in general.
And
are you?
that's why you go wrong, because you're supposed to talk about what you actually know. That's why
Oh, no,
every
I-
time I'm talking, I usually try to make it like very specifically. Yes, I can speak as an African. However, when I have to talk about a very specific thing, I do talk about Kenya. When I'm in Kenya, this is what I see. And when
Well-
you're in the US and you're trying to represent the whole Africa, like as a whole, like we have 53 unique tribes, countries. Like we are all different. We have different economies. Like you can't.
You
just
do
say
realize
most African countries.
you
like
do
that.
realize that these economies, you are able to see them, you are able to know about them. You don't have to live in that country to know, to see, how well they are doing or not?
And then why did you dispute my point when I talked about the Americas?
Like,
If
which
you
point?
can just, like the way you said, I can't speak about America if I've not lived there.
No,
And
I
why are
didn't
you
say
taking the
that.
same argument? You did. You said I can't understand what
Yeah,
Americans go through.
because
Then
you
don't
don't
speak about other countries if you don't understand them.
no, because you could simply take a look at America. See, the first thing when you come to America, one thing that would stand out to you, you would know that the people work their asses off. That is clear. You would know that this place, the reason why this place look like this is because people work. Yeah, people work.
Okay.
Yeah. You cannot say the same
In
thing
Africa, we
about,
don't work.
hey, where's the results?
I mean, we're getting there. We don't have to compete with the first world, right? America has been there for 200 years. Kenya is only almost getting 60.
Huh.
You can't compare the two countries.
Okay. So let's say India or Singapore, right? They just had their independence, or South Korea, same as most African countries. So what's the difference there?
I can't speak about other countries. I can only speak for one. But
Then we
again,
can-
people are going to always have advantages and disadvantages. Like I said, we are not always going to be the first to achieve something.
But
But
what's
getting
the-
there, maybe getting to a developed, maybe being a developed country, it's really something that's going to happen eventually.
Huh. So what I'm trying to get at here, right? Okay, it is the people. It's not about all these advantages or disadvantages. It will take the group to create that. That's my whole point. In these places, they are able to, the group can come together on that same agenda, and you see so many hardworking people working towards that. And when I say people are lazy in Africa, I'm not speaking of everybody. Obviously, there are people who are not that way. Okay? But if you have the majority pulling you down, obviously the environment, it makes sense for it to look like the way it looks. That's my point.
People can always look at Africa and make conclusions. I'm not saying they won't do that, but again, like I said, you have to look at different countries as their own, and come to me as with a Kenyan argument. I'll be able to even give you better arguments.
Yeah, but you see, you focus entirely on Kenya, right? Even though my argument was not about Kenya individually.
And other countries too.
But
there are cases where I can speak about other countries because I understand other countries too as an African.
But you do admit, right? In my talk here, in fact, I'll let it get there. So we would know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me allow it to play.
Okay.
People know they can easily be replaced. People are looking for your job. Who are you not to show up for work? Who are you not lazing around and not showing up for work or going late? So based on that, also, like the knowledge that I have, I can disprove that. I can easily say that doesn't happen because people can easily be replaced and you don't want to be the guy being replaced. So people are proactive. In fact, they're going to do extra for the most part so that they just stay for that work. He says also that people are thieves. They're going to steal your stuff. Seriously, is there any place in this world that thieves don't exist? People who are malicious, who are going to, if you leave your stuff wrong, they're not going to take. I believe in the US, there's some clips I saw that people are even going to stores.
I actually did a show about this. This was showing how black people steal here in America. So you proved my point. That guy is
Oh,
black. See the one that you showed?
So it's just Africans who are like thieves?
No,
Or
no.
people who are black?
What he did right there, you would mostly see a black person do that here in America.
Well, I don't know, but I was pointing
Well,
it
I'm
out
just-
to
I'm
the
telling
world that, well, are they Kenyans then? Or are they purely African? They could be just African Americans.
Well, I'm just saying. See.
So when you're saying
when
Africans are lazy or
Yeah.
they're thieves, and these are clips of America.
Yeah,
who
but-
are the
but-
thieves?
but
Everybody's
what
a
I'm
thief.
saying-
There are thieves everywhere.
he's black, though.
Oh, well, I didn't notice actually. I didn't even look at the rest of the person.
Yeah, but you see what you did there, right? I'm talking of people that actually work in that business. This guy doesn't work in that business. He's just a thief. We do have those here. He's just a thief, you know. He went there to collect his reparation. Are you aware of reparations?
Could you explain?
Well, because there's black people that said they need to get paid for their ancestors
Okay,
being
I
enslaved.
understand it.
So I have even done a talk on this. I use this very clip. There is, if you look on the internet, you're gonna see many ones. In Chicago, in San Francisco. This is you would see that this is mostly black people doing this, and they justify it by saying they are collecting their reparation. But it's stealing. I agree with you. But these people don't work there. They are
So
just
the point
thieves.
is, I used a wrong clip on this video.
Well, it's not part of the argument. I'm speaking of individuals that actually you employed in your business.
You
That's
want to
what
say
I'm-
if I Googled right now, I wouldn't get someone who was employed in the US and
Oh no, you will, but it's not gonna be.
Then it's not
as
Africa,
common. It's
right?
not gonna be as common as Africa, though.
it's not common here too. I can tell you that for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
And stealing stuff, even with bicycles, and they're walking out without anyone chasing them or without any repercussions.
Yeah, you see that? Yeah. Oh, you see those? Yeah. Those are black people doing that.
I mean, I wouldn't know. They're all masked up.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, the dynamics here. So you're definitely even, reaffirming my point.
Well, my argument was thieves are everywhere.
But
People
you-
who are untrustworthy are everywhere. They are not only in Africa. That is the
Even-
point.
To be on your side, right here, to be
Okay.
on your side, this clip that you showed, you would mostly you wouldn't see this in most African countries.
They would
For
be
the-
stoned to death.
to death. Yeah. That's that part. I'm with you on that. Most people that will steal, if they work there, they would do it in a cunning way. But this type of force, to just go in and
I can tell you for sure. I have seen this show. It's called 60 Days In. There are people in jails because they were stealing from their own companies,
yeah,
especially
okay.
white people. I have
Okay.
seen it. It's not something I'm not aware of.
That's what I'm saying. There is.
The
I'm not.
thieves are everywhere. That's the point. And
But
people who
I'm
are
saying-
people are going to take from you, even from your company, are everywhere. Not only in
But
Africa.
where is it more common? That's my point.
How did you come up with the idea that it's common in Africa?
Because
what,
if you-
what,
if
what
you-
data did you use to qualify that it's only common
that's
in
easy.
Africa?
From experience, from people I've talked
No,
to.
you can't talk
know,
about your experience. You give receipts to what you're saying.
I've even invited. I've even had somebody here who was scammed. Over $20,000. In Africa. And he knows these people.
People are scammed all over the place.
Well, you see, what you're doing is this is about Africa.
I'm
but
not
you're-
saying I'm not
you're
saying
try-
I'm not
so-
I'm not
so-
saying
so wait.
Africans are not conned. That
So
is
wait
not
a
the
minute.
point. The point is you are trying to make us look like we are the worst of the worst. We
So
are not.
see-
Some of these things happen everywhere.
But you see, Muchiri, you are totally in your head. You are creating, things in your head. Okay.
Oh, I'm
so
not.
when I say these things, you are doing this thing saying, but other people do it. But this is hurting Africa more than any other place. That's my whole point.
And your point, and also another thing you have to say is like where you're getting this data from.
Well,
if
I'm
you know
telling
for sure, I mean, you need to give the receipts then.
well,
Show it happens to Africa more than any other
really,
place. Then.
you think
Yeah.
Africa things are recorded? Are we? Is that what we're gonna be doing here?
I mean, there are things that are recorded. I mean,
Really?
Are you going to say that we don't keep data here?
So, no, they don't. They're not good at that.
Oh man.
To tell me, are they keeping data? Show me.
Oh,
You know, we are here.
Maybe in Gambia, like I said, maybe speak about Gambia, and I think you lived also in Sierra Leone. I'm assuming. Maybe talk about those two countries, right?
So-
but in other maybe not all also other countries, but I can tell you for sure we have data here.
So, if I go and look for the crime statistics, the stealing in Kenya, I would be able to get an accurate data on this. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying you will be able to get that. Maybe it's not even in the public domain.
That's my whole point. They don't keep records. In the US, you can access this record.
if there are people in jails in Kenya, obviously their records are kept. They're written like this person is in jail because of ABCD. Like
But-
those are records.
but you see-
maybe they're not in public. But it doesn't mean that we don't keep records.
But you see, Michuri, what I'm doing, right? I'm very much aware that in America and other places, these things happen. But I'm not comparing them to Africa. I'm speaking of things that would come to African people's attention to know that this is hurting us. In America, like, there are thieves. Trust me. I'm not saying there are thieves. I'm very much, even
And
Saudi
what's-
Arabia.
and-
wait,
and what's the
even
point
Saudi, wait, even Saudi Arabia, where when you steal, they chop off your hand, people still steal, where they could get killed. Think about it, even in Africa, where if you steal, right, in the market or any other place, they will stone you to death. It doesn't stop people. But I'm speaking of this because I want people to be sensible, to understand that this is hurting, the progress of Africa. It's not a matter of how long we've been colonized or not. I'm speaking of the people's mindset, and that's not everybody, but people that act this way, they should change their minds.
And I think my point of view is, yes, it happens here. We could do things better. I do not want to have people who are untrustworthy being employed. That's not the case. However, if it happens everywhere, why are you singling out this place only? Like,
Because I'm from. That's where I'm from. I'm not singling it out. That's where I'm from. That's why I speak
I mean,
on it.
you could talk about things that are affecting Africa alone. Maybe.
Are you
that
saying?
maybe
But
hindering us?
why would I be talking about these things about America? That's not, stopping their progress. Like, why would I?
The
Because
progress of an individual who was who got his money stolen from his company in America is not stopping.
they're gonna
the person
get their
from
money
progress.
back. If they're gonna get their money back over here, they have what they call insurance. In Africa, you steal
We
somebody.
have insurance, my guy. We have
Look,
insurance.
so-
I have some of my things insured.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. If it's cool in Kenya, right? If it's cool in Kenya, then why would you be butthurt by that? What I'm saying then.
I mean, it's the idea that you're spreading about Africa that we are going to steal your stuff or they are lazy. That is why that I had to speak about it. It's not that that.
But if it doesn't
happens to
happen,
me, but I had to talk about it because it's you're talking about where I'm living and putting it in a bad light.
You
That's
know
why
why?
I had to do it.
You know why? You know why I know that what I'm saying is true. If I had said, oh, the people in Africa are green, you're gonna know that that's a silly comment. It's not true. You wouldn't even waste your time on it. But people speak on things that they know is true.
No, not necessarily the case. Even if you said that, I would be like, yeah, sure, I wouldn't really
No,
react
you
to
would
the
just
video.
be like, this guy is silly. You wouldn't waste your time. But you know what I'm saying
Yes,
is true.
true. But I had to point out that, also then in the US, maybe they can find someone who's green then.
But what is this thing about? So if it's okay,
we are human. Like the point is we are human.
If it's okay, wait a minute. Are you telling me, right? Just because if people steal in the US, that makes it okay in Africa? Is that your point that you keep mentioning that?
And I just said, if we could improve, I would love it. That's what I said. I did not say that that's what I want it to be like. But I also wanted to point it out that you are making it seem like only these things are going to happen to you in Africa.
That's not.
And
But
they're rampant. They're not rampant. They're not common.
But did I say
not
this?
common. I can't pinpoint someone who I have seen their property being stolen, maybe from work or whatever. I cannot do that, and I'm living in Kenya.
So
in Africa.
Okay, wait a minute. You said seem. So that would mean it's your own thinking. You didn't hear me say that this is going to happen to you in Africa more than any other place, right? You do realize the
So
conversation
you're discouraging people from doing business here.
So you think
basically.
me, one individual, one man, right?
Okay.
My words that I say will stop somebody who truly wants to go to Africa and do business? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, you're pointing us in bad light also.
No, but
There are people who listen to those things and they just agree, okay, maybe that's true. That's just Africa.
Okay, but you're not answering my question though. Do you think, right? For instance, like there are people, they tell them in America, they shoot people easily. There's guns, whatever. It doesn't stop them from coming, right? They hear this, they see it on TV, whatsoever. It doesn't stop them, but that doesn't mean that people are not going to speak of these things, right?
Why
So anyone,
about them then?
anybody.
If I'm not supposed to challenge it, then why are you speaking about it? You just want your ideas to just fly.
No. I have no problem with you challenging it. In fact, I love this. I have no problem with you challenging it. But, I think, you're being dishonest about it. Because see, you cannot stand on your ground based on Africa. You just keep saying, but this happens in the US. But the conversation is about Africa. If I want to make videos,
it is about Africa. However, my point was, this is my channel. My channel is taking what is happening out there and comparing it to Kenya and in Africa when I can. Okay, so when I pointed it out, I wanted to show that this guy is thinking this way about Africa and Kenya. Is saying, but it happens everywhere.
Okay, Muchiri, let me ask you this, right? Because you have all this thought, you think this is just my idea or ideology, as you put it. What would, in your head, what makes you think I would just concoct these things and just, come up with it, out of nowhere? What would be my reason?
You tell me.
No, I mean, because you're the one that's thinking this is just an ideology. Like implying that I've never seen these things. I don't know about these things, but I just thought about them. Where did I come up with these things from? How did I come up with them?
Maybe from what you've been hearing from people like randomly saying about Africa, because we are well aware in Africa that people have a lot of negative things to say about us.
But you say just hearing it. Don't forget that I'm an African too.
Well, how long ago were you in Africa?
That doesn't matter.
No, answer it.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
That doesn't matter, my friend.
When you've been in the US for 20 years, then why are you looking at us with the lens of 20 years ago then?
So you think this was just happening 20 years ago? I'm talking about today, like today, 2021.
There are some things that I would agree with you that were happening, like the time you were talking about electricity. Yes, maybe.
We'll get to that. But you see,
and that's the point is there's so many things that I disagreed with, and there's also, in fact, I would actually even say this. I agreed. If you play this video, I agree with most things that I disagree with.
Right. I know. See, I like, my thing is, I like this, that you want to stand your ground. I see like you're trying to speak in terms of, I'm trying to, put my foot on Africa's neck. Nah, I want Africa to improve. I want Africa, to move to the next level. I don't like to hear the excuses, and many people are giving excuses. You see, that's why.
And does the next level have to be like in the US or in other Western countries?
Well, but you're the one. But what I'm saying, Is that what your idea of the next level is?
You're the one who's saying that you want it to go to the next level. What is the
Yeah,
next level for
yeah.
you?
See,
I
you
did not
didn't-
say, I did not mention the next level. You're the one who have the idea of the next level. So give us what the next level is for Africa.
people to to be able to remove themselves out of poverty.
Well, that's
That's a
perfectly
good
fine with me.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't have to be. People don't have to be America.
But
Trust me,
how-
don't think America is not great for everybody. For some people, America is hell. Okay? So when people say America, America, it's not like that for everyone, like what you see on TV, or that's not how it is. You know?
I understand that.
Yeah, that's not how it really is. You know, I want to make that clear. You know, over here you have to make your way. You have to literally make your way. You know, if you want to.
I have many relatives there, so
Yeah.
it's not even an
So-
issue.
so,
I
you
understand
know,
fully about US.
Yeah, so you should know that. Okay, we'll continue.
So him saying that Africans are thieves, that's what he's basically saying. Is there any place you can really go to in this world and don't find a thief? It's people you can't trust? Skill-wise, he says that we are incompetent. It could be true, but I'm going to speak on this one as a Kenyan. We have free education in the country up to secondary school. That is, I don't know what it translates to, but the basics.
You know, MUCHIRI, you know what I'm talking about here, right? You know, do you play soccer?
No.
What sport? Long time ago. So you know, like you would think really, you know, people call themselves soccer player whatsoever. You think you're doing good until you meet real, actual soccer players, because it takes a certain level of dedication and time to put into things for it to happen. People don't just wake up one day and say it's gonna, this is what's gonna happen, right? It's a process.
True.
And so when I say lazy, most people are thinking, oh, I'm saying people are just sitting around, blah, blah, blah. No. Lazy entails many, many, many different forms. If you don't follow the process, you are not, you don't want to take the time to follow the process to get to where you need to be. It means you're lazy. And
You think Africans don't like following the process?
majority don't like. I mean, are you gonna deny that too?
I will.
Like the process to
Okay,
make
maybe
things happen.
maybe explain to me what the process means. To
Okay,
you.
for instance,
maybe I can agree or disagree.
Okay, so when I say process, right? Let's say here in the United States, I meet lots of different people. When you talk to these people, it's not like they are smarter than African people whatsoever. That's not the case. But you see them making things happen. The reason why they're able to make it happen, even Americans, it's process. They believe in following the process of doing things. Like they don't believe that, okay, I start at, like number 1 and expect yourself to be at number 10 tomorrow.
And that's what you're expecting Africans to be.
No.
I mean,
Most
you're
Africans,
comparing,
most
and I clearly
Africans,
said that.
my point is, like most Africans, right? They don't believe in the process,
Including
like
you.
they think that you can get to number 10 and skip between 2 and 9. That's
Well,
why things are falling apart.
Then why
That's
do you
why
expect Africans to jump a process of development then?
That's
I mean,
my
you have
thing.
to take
No,
time.
no, but
Things take time.
but it's stagnant in most places. They're not, like they would start, see, when you think, for instance, you're thinking I have to be at number 10, right? Without even getting to number 2. It meant you're mentally defeated. You just feel like, oh man, I can never get there. They feel mentally defeated because they think that the process is straight to 10. They are not willing to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see what I'm saying? They want to go from 1 to 10. And if they cannot
But
get
who
there,
are you speaking to Africans as a general?
in generality, yes. Not
Really?
in generality.
I don't see that. People have a process here too. Like, for instance, I took my time. Even right now, with my small YouTube channel, I'm enjoying it. I'm
I
loving
know.
the process of growing it. I don't even care about numbers right now. I'm just
But
having fun.
Michuri,
But eventually it's gonna grow. Like, that is how most people do it here. We have father figures who teach us how to take process and grow things. Okay, it's
But
not something that
Michuri-
can happen here.
But Mishuri, you know, right? Okay, you could talk of yourself, but majority of the people are not like you.
Nah.
You know
I know
this.
so many people like
You
me.
know this.
I know so many people like me.
Really?
So many.
How
so
many? 12?
I have so many friends. And my group of friends are almost
Well,
like
you
me,
know,
all of
you
them.
do, but you do realize that people, right? People that are your friends tend to kind of be like you. You do realize that.
So how many yourself do you know that are not like that?
Oh, plenty.
Africans.
Oh,
So give us a figure then.
oh man, I can, man, we'll be here all
At
day.
least for me, I could pinpoint my friends, okay? For you, you're just saying, oh, just all over. They're everywhere. Where? Give us a figure of where you got this thing from.
Just walk in any African country, you'll see them.
You'll see people not taking the process. You'll see people just wanting
Oh,
to be
yeah.
number one
Oh, yeah.
without
Oh,
taking any
because,
kind
no,
of,
see-
without growing their skills,
No,
without getting
see,
better things.
You know, you cannot argue against the process. The process is right in front of you.
Exactly. The process works, and I'm fully for that.
You're
But
saying
I-
are you saying this? Things are working in Africa, in African countries, for the most
the
part.
thing is, you are the one who said you shouldn't skip from 0 to number 1, right?
Yeah, but
again, you want Africans to be like we were just recently colonized. Then you
I don't
be like
think- I don't
the same
think-
as the Americans or the British who colonized us.
I'm
Won't be the
sensing
case.
a confusion in when I say the process.
Okay.
I'm not
Clarify,
saying
please.
that. I'm not saying African. I'm saying Africans
Mm-hmm.
don't follow the process generally because they think they should be at number 10 without going through all these processes
I don't think that's the
build.
case.
Well, the environment proves me right every single time.
The environment does not prove you right. We are on a process. We are growing. Like you can't say
how's
all Africans are like that.
how's that process going? How's that working?
Like I said,
out?
like for me, I can talk about the people I know. They're not like that.
Well, there are way more people.
You
in
couldn't
Africa than
pinpoint
we do.
anyone. You can't
I
just say every
pinpoint
Africans.
the countries, how they are running, how
Well,
things
pinpoint
are.
one then. Talk about the country, like maybe Gambia.
Even Kenya, Kenya that you speak of. I know plenty of people from Kenya, and they can tell they speak of these things. They speak about these things. Yeah, Kenya might be doing well than other places, but maybe you yourself would say it here eventually in the video. Let me play it. You'll say it here.
Stuff we are taught. We just have to pay now for your college and all your universities, and we have a lot of graduates in Kenya.
That's good. When I was in Africa, I had to pay from middle school to high school.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not free.
I went to free primary school and secondary school. I went to a
Yeah,
private school.
I only attended free primary school, but
Yeah.
after that, I had to pay.
Well, yeah.
I'm doing
Oh,
Continue.
amazing courses. They're really, really good. That I can also disprove that, like in that manner. Maybe he can say with this we don't have a lot of experience in our workforce. Maybe because there's not a lot of jobs. Like I said before, there's high unemployment rate. There's not a lot of jobs to employ our youths. So basically, the skills that you gain in school, you lack a place where you can practice your expertise on. Maybe that's what I can give him. But him saying that we are incompetent, it's not really the case. That especially in Kenya. Let me just qualify that in Kenyan terms, because I understand my situation here better than any other place in Africa. So I would speak about that in general.
That's a common thing. Even if they're working, how incompetent they are, the stealing, they can take your money and disappear. That's a common thing. That is a common thing. So when I say these things, I can prove it. All you have to do is just look at the place. That's all you have to do. Because I know.
So he says he can prove it. I mean, if he watches this video, I'll challenge him to prove it. Prove that we are lazy, prove that we're incompetent, and prove that all of Africans are,
Muriu, see what you did? You said, you put words in my mouth. You said, all of Africa, all Africans. I didn't say all. I didn't say all. Yeah, I didn't say all, but most.
No. So they're going to steal your stuff. Prove that.
I know what real work does for someone. Look at the place. That's all you have to do. Because I know what real work does for someone. I know that. Because you see, like you bring even Africans that are.
So are you the only person who knows what real work is? Are we Africans who live here don't know what work is or what work looks like?
But you do know I didn't say that, right?
Well, you said, I know what real work is. Those people in Africa, you're making it look like we don't know what real work is.
Yeah, but you see the terms you're using. You would say seem, or you make it look like. I cannot make things look like anything other than what the people that are seeing it, what they are looking at, because they are seeing the same things. So again, when it comes to, because you and I both agree, when it comes to the competence, it's lagging. My thing is, I know most people like to say these fantasy things about Africa. I know that would never improve it. Someone has to speak on the facts of what they are saying. It's going to hurt people's feelings, but it doesn't mean it's not true. It hurts people's feelings because it is true. There needs to be a whole lot of improvement because, like you said, right, there isn't that many jobs. You said maybe that could be a problem. Yes, that is a problem. But where are those jobs going to come from? They have to be created, right? Yeah, they have to be created. Who's going to create it? You see? So it would take a collective. Like, for instance, you could be the smartest person, have the greatest ideas, but you cannot do it all by yourself. You're going to need, a team to make it happen. So that's my whole point. That team has to be on board. I'm not saying the people in Africa, are sitting there to wait for me to come and tell them about what work is. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just pointing out what is obvious. People are saying
what is real work? Please,
huh?
Can you define what real work is then?
What real work is?
Or can you explain to us then?
Real work, you work where you get results. You see what I'm saying? Like if you go to Africa, even most places like the buildings, the roads, it is other people building it. It is not Africans themselves. If Africans are working there, they're just working as laborers.
And like I said, sometimes you don't need to do everything for yourself. You can bring someone who's an expert at something and let them do something.
Wait, but you see that but what right then and there, right? Those are jobs already. Just even because Africa needs lots of infrastructure.
True.
So what is wrong with Africa that the Chinese, they have to bring in the Chinese to be quote unquote the experts to build these things,
Maybe they've done it for longer. So
no, they have not.
I mean, they could have. I mean, it's not the point that I'm making, but maybe they are better at it. The
No,
people
but
who
see-
are better at other things, and we can learn from the Chinese even when they're here. Maybe in the next few years, we are not going to need them.
But like, okay, for instance,
Or maybe could even be cheaper, like even getting the Chinese to do it.
cheaper
could be also
than
another
cheaper
case.
than cheaper than having the African people themselves do it.
Yeah, it could be.
Explain that.
Maybe they have more facilities or like tools to do the job, to get the job done.
But what's wrong with Africans that we can't just go buy those tools and bring them?
And we also have, like, maybe there's some expertise, or maybe for the people who are going to design the infrastructure. I'm not saying we're perfect, and
But
like
it's
I
not
said,
that hard. What I'm saying.
some of these things, we don't want someone who's never built a skyscraper to come and
Yeah.
build a skyscraper here. You need someone who's an expert, okay? You
Okay.
just don't get someone who's just local or Kenyan to come and build a
I-
5-story building.
That comes
Or
into
20-story building. It's not-
that proves my point that majority is incompetent. That's why they have to go get the Chinese to do
And
it.
we're going to learn, like that's the thing.
But they are not-
even the people who are going to be laborers there, that are going to be experts in the next few years and those things. But if you just say, okay, we're just going to be building these things by our own, and we can bring someone who's been doing it for years, and we are going to learn a few things from them, what's the problem with that?
But do you know how long is it gonna take for one to be an expert to start, building, to watch
They're
people?
going to learn for
But how
every year.
long? Like 50
different
years?
things. Different things take different times to learn. So I don't know.
Muriu, I'll give you an example, right? Like I worked in construction. I built foundations. You know how long it took me to learn that?
I don't know.
6 months. 6 months.
Okay.
By a year, I was a pro. I learned carpentry skills. Like you show me the design, I can lay it out.
Okay.
So I know that these things.
Have you built so many? How many skyscrapers have you built?
I don't build skyscrapers. I build forms, meaning foundations.
Would you agree with me that some of these things need time to learn and to become an expert at,
But I
or to
just
be
gave you-
trusted even by the government to do it?
But I just gave you the learning process here. I just told you how long.
Like the
Yeah.
basic things, we are doing them for ourselves. I mean, I'm not going to come and ask a Chinese to build something small for me. They're not coming here to do the basic stuff.
But you see what you're doing is, when I speak of the things I speak of, you deny them, but you are arguing for African limitation without even knowing it.
I am, and I'm not saying that we are experts. In fact, on this point, I agreed with you. But for you to come and say, like, we shouldn't, like, we should just do everything by ourselves. We do need some other people, like, to come and assist in some areas, maybe if they're experts, or if they're good at some other things that maybe we are not. That's just okay.
That keeps proving my point.
But again, we are going to get better. And like I said, we are a developing country or nation. We're going to just, we are not always going to be asking China for help, or even the US or
you see
whatever.
what my point is, right? Because I can assure you, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to actually, get the people to learn how to do this. Like for instance, because some of these places, like the Chinese, they are building these buildings. Let's say, because eventually, you're gonna need also to maintain. They need to be maintained, right? So, so people like these countries where they are building these things at, they would never be able to learn because, the people that built it, you're gonna have to go get them again.
People learn through experience.
Wait,
and through
you're
that
gonna
experience,
get-
we are going to get experts from that.
But African countries that utilize this would continue to go get these experts because the
Not
people.
necessarily.
But okay, if they are not the ones building it, the Chinese are building it.
For now.
Okay, so would those buildings they need maintenance after some time?
I mean, the people who are like maybe even laborers maybe are going to maintain those buildings. Who knows?
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh that hard. So for instance,
And also let me say something.
you're telling me, right? You're telling me you build this huge building, and this building eventually some years needs maintenance. You're gonna go get the laborers that worked in it.
And like I said, maybe one of these laborers is going to be an expert. That's the point. If they're an expert, maybe years later they're going to maintain the building. It's not something so difficult to imagine happening. It's something that very. It makes a lot of sense that can happen.
But I'm talking about something that is much easier, which is, okay, fine. Even if they have the Chinese there, for instance, they should do it in a way where the people would be able to learn these skills directly, so that, eventually within a short period of time, they wouldn't need the Chinese or other people
And
to
that's
do
what
this.
I said.
But that's not what's
experts
happening.
You don't know how long have they been in Africa, Chinese. I mean,
Chinese,
you can't just.
they've been there for a while now.
No, not so long. It's not
Really?
even been 10 years now.
So how long does it take? Again, I told
like
you.
I said, everything takes time, and also different timings. So some things could take for you to be an expert or to be deemed as an expert in a certain field might take longer than other things. However,
I just gave you a timeline. I just gave you a timeline. How long it took?
I don't
me.
know. Okay. So,
Well, because being somebody that worked in construction, I'm telling you, right? Literally, some of these African countries, if they are willing to put, their money where their mouth is, they bring somebody like me and give me few youths who are not lazy, who are willing to work. I would turn them into experts within 6 months. Within 6 months, I would turn them into that, where they wouldn't even need me to look over them to do
and
this.
you
I
will
would
build
just
super highways.
Huh?
You will build super highways.
No, not super highways. I'm not
exactly. Those are the kind of things
I'm not in that field, because like there's different expertise. I'm not in that field.
Well,
because
that's what
everything you see there's
and like
different.
I said, they're doing these major constructions. They're not just doing the basic things.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting where what I'm driving at. But the thing is, you're telling me I shouldn't say Africans are lazy, but you are arguing for African limitation. I don't know if you know that.
I did not say they are not limited. Everybody has
No,
some
but
limitations.
but if you're saying if you are arguing against what I'm proposing,
limitations
saying-
and laziness is two different things.
okay, we'll hear more here.
We just sheep waiting for you to tell us, oh, this is real work. Whatever these guys are doing all over up there in Africa, it's not real work. Well, what are you trying to say? You know what real work is? We don't. I don't know what real work is. Come on, man.
I know what real work does for someone. I know that, because you see, like you bring even Africans that are willing to work and put in the time. You bring them to Western world like America or Europe. Just look at how well we do. Just think about that. People see it all the time. So how come it's possible?
So he basically contradicting himself at this point.
You see, I didn't contradict myself. I don't
Explain.
because I'm saying that in Africa there are people, they are lazy majority of the time. But now
So
when you bring them to the Western world, you would see them working harder. So my point is it the environment or the people that are around them there? So that's proving my point. Like when I was over there, when I was in Gambia, for instance, how I was able to enter construction here and learn that fast. If I were there, it wouldn't go that way. I know that for a fact. But in America, they really want you to be competent. They want you to do it. And if you're willing to do it, you will get the expertise. It's all about the willingness. You have to be willing.
So Africans are not lazy.
Well, not all, but most.
So including you're excluding yourself from that bracket. So you are among the few Africans who are not lazy.
Well, that's why I am able to say what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why do you think I'm able to see these things? Because I know exactly what I've acquired, and the things that I continue to acquire. It all comes from my willingness to put in the time, follow the process, hard work. I'm all about hard work. Hard work brings results. What my theory is, man. You could have a father who's a billionaire. You could be taller than me. You could be faster than me. You could be smarter than me, but you can never outwork me. You can never outwork me. That's my philosophy, and that's what
that's
I've
a good
always
philosophy.
stood by. Yeah, you can never outwork me.
However, you didn't show how when you're in the Americas, like how do you stop being lazy from being in Africa? Then you just
Well, there are some
US,
people who are
and all of a sudden you're now I'm so hardworking right now.
the environment pushes you. The environment.
So it's maybe the lack of jobs, maybe. Put it that way.
But
You're
you
not
create.
lazy.
Well, you create it.
Well, how fast can you create jobs for millions of people?
When I was in Africa, right? My family, most people from my family, they've never worked for government. We create our own jobs, our own businesses. There are many people that are doing that.
And the jobs are there. It's just that they're not all that well paying. We could say.
But people. That's
People are
what
working.
people can. But more people, the people that are working, just like I just talked about. For instance, all that money they are spending, right? Buildings. It's other people building this stuff.
And those buildings are going to benefit Africans.
Okay, but the point
And
is,
those buildings that are being built have employed Africans as laborers. As much as they're not the experts, the majority of people who are working on those
so
things
it's just
are Africans.
So that means Africans would never be independent of that, because to maintain the maintenance of those buildings, guess what? You have to bring in the people that built it to do the maintenance again. You got to pay them to do that.
And not all buildings are going to be built by Chinese.
Who's going to build most of them?
Well, eventually we're going to do it.
Eventually,
In fact, most of the buildings in Kenya are not built by Chinese. It's just that they made a strict stroker deal with the Chinese government, and they're doing it. Previously, they were not being built by Chinese.
but you do realize they have this the Beltway initiative across Africa. So the next dependency right now, it would be Chinese. Those roads that are getting built, just getting people that are simply laborers, their job is done there. It's a day-to-day thing. They wouldn't have any.
There are also experts working with them, as much as maybe they're not as competent as the Chinese are.
Oh boy.
They'll still do those things.
So you're proving my point here. You're proving my point.
How did I prove your point?
Well, because you're saying that they are not as competent as the Chinese. My argument.
And I said so. Maybe we don't have a lot of people need job experience.
But
That's
you
the
see,
case. We have enough people to learn and to be expert at different things. We won't be requiring or needing these people to come in all over Africa or Kenya.
But my point
to do these
is,
things for
right?
us.
Okay, if they are building these super highways you're talking about, they are the ones building it.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to properly maintain it, right? You're going to, after the Chinese build it, you're going to bring Kenyans who are less competent to be the ones maintaining it. Is that what you're telling me?
Being less competent is just something for a short period of time. People improve with different things. Like I said, I also have a small YouTube channel. It's gonna get bigger and bigger.
But you're building.
That is me getting better at something. Okay.
But you're the one that built this YouTube channel, right? You're the one building it. So let's say you built
And
a
that,
YouTube,
and that, just, okay,
and
okay.
then you're the one building it. You built it. You know what you're doing, and then later you just go get somebody who was just your viewer who don't know much about it. They just have an idea, and you think they'll be able to maintain it for you?
They're not just spectators. If I was building this channel and I had an assistant right here, they would understand the process that I'm going through. They're not just here to just see me doing things. People learn. People are capable of learning just even by observing. Even the laborers, let alone the experts that are working with the Chinese, even the laborers are capable of learning and improving and becoming the experts themselves.
Okay, but why aren't they doing that now?
Well, like I said, we are getting there. We don't have to be there already. That's the point. We're improving.
Huh. Okay.
Because he said Africans are lazy, but then he also says that Africans, when they go to the US or Western countries, they succeed. They do quite well. So, I mean, pick a side, man. Pick a side. It's either we are lazy or we are not, or we are good.
Or Europe. Just look at how well we do. Just think about that. People see it all the time. So how come it's possible for us to do that when we are away from that environment, but when we are there, we cannot do it? It's not. I mean, I'm the same individual.
Oh, okay. I guess he's saying that when you're taken away from Africa, then you become hardworking. I don't really know that. I've not experienced that. I can't take that away from him. Maybe I'm lazy right now. Who knows? Maybe if I go to a different country in the Western countries, I would be a different person. But I don't know what kind of sorcery that is, what kind of magic that is. But I don't know, man. I can't take that away from him because I haven't experienced that.
Right? Away from that environment, but when we are there, we cannot do it. It's not. I mean, I'm the same individual. Right. I'm the same individual. What's the obstacle there?
So he was lazy when in Africa?
For you to succeed, you have to find a team of competent people to work with. It doesn't matter. You could be the smartest guy. You could have the great. For instance, I'll give you an example. You can have the greatest brand new ship. You can be the, but if your captain is a shitty captain, doesn't know his or her way, you would just be going in circles. You got the best ship in the world, but but you have no direction. You don't know where you're going.
Well, I guess he's saying that our leaders are shitty and they don't know what they're doing. I could.
You agree with that?
Partly, yeah.
Partly. What part do you disagree with?
I mean, yes, we have a lot of shitty leaders, but again, not all.
Yeah. I hope, man, you leave Kenya and go see other places. You will change your perspective. Seriously. You will. You will see.
And like I said, I won't take away this one from you. Like I said, if I don't know something, I am open to saying that.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine saying that I don't know something. It's okay.
Because like I know like they can do better for real. I know this.
Everyone can do better.
No, Africa needs to do way better. They are way behind than everybody else. Believe you me. That's why I say go see. You will see for yourself.
Okay, like I said, I'm not taking that away from you.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know how to take that away from you.
I want to ask you a quick question. You said there are some good leaders in Africa, right? Can you name a couple?
Maybe in Kenya, which would apply. Like I don't know leaders in Africa all that well.
But you were just assuming.
Well, you want to say all African leaders are bad? That's the point, really.
No, I mean, I was curious because you said
that's the same thing I said then.
You said there are
not all. I said I agreed, but again, not all. Yeah.
See, you would have been able to name them if they were there.
Well, in maybe like I said, in Kenya maybe. Okay, but again, I can't go ahead and naming African leaders. I don't know African leaders, but
Maybe
again, in Kenya, I can't.
Rwanda,
Like, I do not know the politics of other
Kagame.
African countries.
Are they doing
Kagame,
well?
I guess for Rwanda, I mean, he's brought the country from the genocide.
Maybe, yeah, it's a maybe
Yeah.
too. Okay.
Here, because I mean we have 52 states, and we have our own issues here in terms of politics. So that could be the case, but also I've seen some good leaders.
So African countries are like that most of the time. They have what it takes. You know, all the necessary condition is there, right? But how come they are just going in circles?
I get it.
Is it the place or the people?
And that's going to lead into today's topic, because I do listen to your live streams, and again, and you made a comparison, and what you were talking about, I kind of caught the middle of the comparison, or the comparing and contrasting rather, of African Americans and Africans in Africa, and what you compared it into a lion that is kept into a zoo, and a lion that is in the wild, undomesticated, which was the Africans, and the undomesticated. And I want to talk about that. Like, how did you come up with that, and what were you trying to make clear in that particular comparison?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked me that. See, like I said, I'm someone that I like observing things. I pay attention to how humans interact with each other, how people think. And if you look at it, I like going to the zoo, or I like watching, animals, the different animals. I like watching the Animal Planet. I love going to the zoo. I've always been into observing different animals.
I love that too. I love documentaries too.
Yeah, because you find you see a lot of dynamics, where this is not control environment. You get to see nature play out. So
Okay.
on television. But if you look at the way, like Black Americans are socialized here, they are, compared to Africans, they are domesticated Africans, because they are they are raised not by their own, they are raised by different people. Because when you go to schools, right, for instance, the reason why I came up with it, I'm able to see it. You go to, like, in the schools, the people that teach, Black children most of the time are not Black people themselves.
Right.
The television program.
Is he saying that African Americans have been domesticated by white people?
Why did that make you laugh, Muriu?
It sounds so stupid. Like, I was like, yo, what the hell is this?
What part sounds stupid to you there?
Like, how do you just say that just because they're not being...
But I explained what I'm talking about, which is here in America, right? Because I'm talking of the American dynamic. You see, O'Shea understand where I'm coming, what I'm talking about. He's able to see it. So over here, the school system, for instance, has a lot of power on these kids. And majority of Black kids, their cue is from the schools, from TV. This is why when you talk to most Black people, they like to reference books to you. It's not based in reality. Not all, but most.
Basically, you're saying if we were being taught by Africans in the schools, or African Americans were being taught by Africans or black people, they would not be the same people? They would
Not
not be as smart
necessarily.
or something?
Okay. See, you added smart to it. Just because you go to school doesn't mean you're smart. In fact, most of the schools make you dumb. If you look at it, they take away your thinking. You can't think for yourself. So that's where the domestication comes in, because somebody is putting their own ideology in your head instead of being taught.
I would think differently, because you're not going to school because you were smart before. You are going there because you need to learn
there's
what
plenty.
other people have been learning through generations, and you're basically being given a shortcut to, like, this is what human beings have discovered all over the years. And if you're interested in this is the line for you. If you're interested in this is the line for you. You're not just being taught how to think. You're just being taught, this is what we have as knowledge. This is the knowledge we have as human beings, and this is it. So if you can't try to invent the whole wheel by yourself. While you have people like Einstein who brought up so many new things to the science world.
So let me ask you this. So you think someone who has higher critical thinking skills and able to apply it, right? Versus some guy who's telling you they got a PhD, but they cannot critically think. Who do you think, would do better?
I mean, obviously, it's someone who can critically think.
That's my point. And
it also depends with what kind of PhD the person has. If it's someone who is a scientist and he has a PhD in astrophysics, he can teach you so many things that you never knew.
He can teach me astrophysics, but not critical thinking skills.
He can also teach you that.
Really? So if you have PhD in that,
I mean, in some sense, like, it doesn't have to be applying to that specific thing.
those are two different things, right?
I was just giving an example.
Okay, let's hear more.
Is he saying that white people are better? I don't know. So that kind of sounds like to me.
That's not what I mean by white people are better. I'm just explaining the
Then
domestication.
why were you making it seem
Because-
they're just being the way they are because they're taught by white people? They're not black teachers in the schools. I mean, what if it was black people who are teaching these people? What would have happened?
But that's not what's happening. We have to speak of
what would have been different if
I
that
don't
was
know.
the case?
We haven't seen that. If this school thing you talk, you have
Do you
to
think
look
it would
at,
have been? You think the students would have been far much worse?
if black people have maintained their own separate, sovereignty, of course it would be different. The thinking process would be different than having white liberals trying to, put their thought process in black kids' head.
Would it be better or worse?
Of course. So do you think it's better if you teach your own children than somebody else? Your kid
Yes.
adopting your own culture versus adopting someone else's culture where they would be confused? Which one is better?
Yes, it's better, but it depends with what kind of culture obviously you're teaching, right?
Wait, so you're saying is better for
If I'm teaching my own children my own culture, yes, that's better than them learning another person's culture.
well, that's my point here. Because
Yeah,
if somebody else, right, who's teaching you to say from childhood, they're trying to assimilate you, to change you, right? Because to domesticate, that's what it is. You're changing the thinking process of the
Okay.
individual. So, that's the meaning of that word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they're
so-
being domesticated. Like, if you played back, like how it sounded was like if African Americans were teaching African Americans, they would have been not maybe as good.
No, that's not what
That is how it sounded.
No, I was giving, we're giving an example. So, like I'm talking, he wanted me to give an example of how I came up with this. So, because I gave the analogy, then I gave him a real life example of what we're seeing. So you see, like he agreed with me because he knows he's in America, he's an American, he's from here. so he understands what I'm saying.
And actually, I might have to speak for O'Shea here because he didn't necessarily agree. I think he commented on the video and he said he's never the type of person to push
No,
back. on
he
interviews.
doesn't
He might
push
not
back.
have agreed. Maybe he didn't even agree.
So wait,
Just let it
are
go.
you telling me that I'm explaining how American schools work? Do you think O'Shea would confidently stand here and tell me, no, Afridamos, the black kids are not being taught by white people? Is that what
O'Shea said? He doesn't push back. So
I know?
I take his words.
But you know, I understand. I'm not talking about Kenya here. I'm speaking about America. I'm telling you the dynamics, how it works here.
I tend to think that even if that's the case, even if you said something negative about America, you would have just.
But how is
like,
that?
let
But
it
why?
slide.
But why?
Because he wanted you to say your opinion. Like that's the thing.
But why do you think? Why to you? You're saying this is negative when this is the truth.
Like I did not say it's negative per se. I'm just saying how it sounded. It sounded like you're saying if Africans were teaching Africans, something would have been messed up or something.
No, I mean Africans are already teaching Africans. We all see how that's going. So let's
And
not.
how is it going?
Hey, you see, the Chinese have to come and build stuff.
Okay,
That's how it's going.
it's going really bad according to you.
Because it's like you guys have a master over there.
The people that teach, black children most of the time are not black people themselves.
Right.
The television programs, the shows, that they bombard them with, it's not written by African American people. It's not them putting it on. And most people, their children are raised by that, through TV. So an African, for instance, where I come from, when I was growing up, it's free range. You're on your own. You're thinking on your own. The people you interact with is the people that are there. You see what I'm saying? From your own culture. My idea of school, for instance, going to school, is not to go look for a job. I'm just curious about what is in the books, like what white people are talking about. That's what I was curious about. You see?
So the guy basically thought white people are superior. White people.
So how did you come up with this fact, this conclusion, me saying I'm curious about what white people are writing in their books? How did you end up with this guy thinks white people are superior?
I can't really. Some things maybe it's difficult for me to explain. It's how I perceive things also. The way it sounds to me, like I never went to school thinking that I'm going to read a white man's book. You understand? I went there.
No,
I was taken to school by my parents to improve myself in different skills and maybe get better in life.
Yeah,
that's why I went to school. But I didn't go to school because some white people like wrote the books or anything.
But that's not what was said here. I said I didn't go to school so that I can get a job. I went to school because I'm curious about what white people are writing in their books. Mm-hmm. How did that translate to I think white people are superior? If that's the case, I would have been like, I'm reading the books because I want to be like white people. I think they are superior. I said I'm curious about what they are writing in the books.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and like I said, if there's some things that I understand differently from
Right.
where I stand. English is not my first language. Maybe I should just qualify it like that first of all. There's some things I'll listen to, and I will translate them differently also, a bit differently. Okay.
Yeah, you're doing well with the English.
Well, like they have something here to tell me. Let me go and see what they are saying. I'm not even curious about going to school. This is the mentality that this guy has. He's so old school. Like he can't be making such statements about us. And
You called me old school.
I mean, you are.
How
I'm
am
going
I
to call you
old
right
school?
now in your face.
Look.
Oh, that's good.
well, you see, See, the thing is,
I mean,
like,
in terms of the mentality you have of Africa.
but what's
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
not, it's the fact. The fact is, let me tell you, the reality for me, truly, believe it or not, like, they didn't put me in school so I can eventually be employed whatsoever. Just like
School
I
is not
told
for
you.
employment, really. Like I
Yeah,
said, it's for improving yourself and making
right,
yourself better.
right. Well, that's like, I'm curious about what is in books. That's why even today I read so many books, like I'm a reader. I love reading. Because people are gonna be talking, but there are some things that people just put in books. You just gotta go look for it. That's why there's a saying: if you want to hide your money from Africans or Black people, put it in a book. They will never touch it when they come in.
Okay. You
Yeah.
think that's true?
Oh, that's 100% true.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just talk to, most Africans, you'll find out. They'll
Find
tell
out
you them.
that they don't read.
Yes. They would read their school books. There's a difference there versus reading outside of that.
Well, I've heard Africans say that. So,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say that Africans don't read, like in general. Like,
I mean, I'm African. I read, obviously, but I'm in the minority. That's my point. I'm in the minority.
okay.
Yeah.
He's from days when even schools were not around Africa all that much.
There was plenty of schools when I was in Africa. What are you talking about?
From the way you were saying it, it's like,
No,
like how long ago were you here?
in Africa, about 17 years ago. Yeah. So,
But
that's
yeah,
not-
we had schools, but maybe they were not as many as they are right now.
well,
Maybe that's the point I was trying to make.
Trust me, when I was there, there's plenty of schools.
They were. I'm not saying they were not.
Yeah, there were plenty.
I can guarantee you, no one thinks like that in Africa. Well, if they did, it's in their country. I mean, he's not going to install my country in the same bracket that he's putting the rest of Africa. If the rest of Africa want to agree with him, they can. But yo, Kenya, we are dope. We are not like that. This guy is just full of shit.
Did you guys hear MUCHIRI? MUCHIRI is now dumping on Africans too. Did you guys hear that? He said,
No,
Kenya.
I said
he said they are
if
dope.
Africans want to agree, that's what I said. If other Africans want to agree with this, I'm going to remove Kenya from that bracket. That's what I said. If they want to, but I mean, I'm not sure if they do.
Right. And yeah, this is why. Okay, for instance, Oshe, you've been to Africa. This is why you would see most Africans, like they have nothing whatsoever materially, but they are super confident. You compare that to most Black people. Most Black people in America, if they don't have money or stuff, they don't have confidence.
Is that true? Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with being confident if you have stuff or not. I mean, you shouldn't derive your confidence based on material stuff. You should love your life, live your life with whatever little you have. Well,
I agree with you on that.
I mean,
obviously, strive
it's a
to
good
get
philosophy.
more, strive to achieve bigger, better stuff or goals. But my confidence basically right now is not based on anything materialistic. If they would take away my materials, I'm still confident enough to pursue my goals and to get more or even get even better.
They don't have confidence. You see? So when you tell a Black person, you remind them of their skin color. Oh, look at how Black you are. They really, really take it to heart. If you call them a monkey or words, that's because they've been domesticated. Like you take a lion.
I mean, who wants to be called words? I mean, you can't call me a monkey. It won't be funny. It won't be nice.
But MUCHIRI, if somebody called you a monkey, why would you care?
I mean, I'm not saying I would care, but again, it's an insult, really.
But what that to me, I wouldn't care because you know what, a lion.
It wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't fight you if you called me a monkey.
But
But
do you
again,
think?
I would be like, yo, why'd you insult me? You know, basically, that's the
It's not,
thing.
but what I'm saying, do you think the opinions of sheeps matter to lion?
I mean, it's that the thing is, if especially like let's say if you're talking about African Americans, if you're calling them monkeys and you know their history,
No, I get it.
really,
If someone goes out of their way, right? You know, just going around calling everybody that, you know, I mean, they're gonna eventually meet somebody who's gonna not take it well. There's someone would have to teach them a lesson that, you know, you cannot call human beings that. But for me, like, I could care less, you know,
I mean,
because
I'm not saying I would be completely bothered, but again, who goes around calling someone something?
I don't see
Unless
that.
you're looking for trouble.
But I'm saying like here, like color, right? If like black person, they would even look at it and say, "Oh, you think you're not black? Like the black thing is a big thing." You think you're not black? Why would I think I'm not black when I'm looking at myself? I'm as black as the ace of spade. Why would I think I'm not that? You see? But for some reason, you would have to ask yourself, you're like, why is this person saying this? But they want a certain behaviors, and sometimes these are dumb behaviors. Just because some black people do that, if you don't do it, that means you're not black enough, you know? So,
And again, I might agree with you. There's some things that maybe people shouldn't really bother with.
right.
I mean, you just live your life, move on. I mean, it doesn't stick on your face that someone called you a
Right.
monkey or insulted you. Like sometimes people are just petty, also.
Exactly. You know, like it's like one of these things where if people they know like little words, you know, get to you. It's like children, right? The moment they're mad at you, they're gonna use those words, and they know you're gonna get ticked off. What's the best way to take someone's power away is to get them mad. The moment you get the person to be mad at you, you own them. You own
True.
them because they cannot think straight anymore. So that's why these silly things don't matter to me.
It's not. I don't think it's something that is African American only. Personally, you don't call me a monkey, and it won't slide well with me because I already know those are insulting terms. So, and it's not because I am exposed or anything. You know, someone might argue like that, but nope. No one. You can't even call someone a dog, leave alone a monkey. So it's just an insult.
The same, you know, where I'm from in Gambia. If you tell somebody, call them a donkey, most people they would get mad at that because they
Different cultures. Like I said, like the way I put it, like if you call an African American a monkey, that's a completely whole different level than calling me a monkey.
Yeah, but my thing is, it's like the I'm giving that, like if somebody calls me a donkey, even when I was growing up, I'm like, okay, I'm not a donkey, so you're the one that's a donkey. You know, if you looking at me and think I'm a donkey, you see, so it's like I get it, you know. I think some people they get themselves too infused in it. They get their emotions too wrapped up in things. Because if you really think about it, you're not a monkey. You're not a donkey. Like, why do you care?
But again, if your ancestors were enslaved using the same terms or the same thinking, I believe me, you'd get insulted too.
Hey, I guess we'll never know since my ancestors were never in that situation. So,
Okay.
yeah. I'm lion. You take it, you know, words. That's because they've been domesticated, you know, like you take a lion, the same lion, you take it from Africa, you bring it here in the zoo. That parent lion still has that, that freedom, because freedom is in your mind. It doesn't matter being put in the enclosure. But the children that are born in that zoo, in that enclosure, it becomes normal to them. They don't know what freedom is like being in the savannah, free, running around, doing what you want, fighting with hyenas. This lion in the zoo, right?
Right.
For this lion to eat, humans have to feed this lion. They feed this lion. But the African lion have to hunt for what they eat. So that's the difference. Like in Africa, for instance.
Is he claiming that white people have to feed you guys, African Americans? I know there's some white people watching me, so that does not apply to you. I'm sorry. This is a mostly African show.
MUCHIRI is a funny guy. He knows how to start the fire. This guy.
No, I wasn't starting the fire.
No,
I was just
know.
giving a comment on what I
Right.
heard.
Yeah, that's what you do. So you do commentaries. That's cool.
Yeah, but everybody is welcomed. But I don't know. I think that's what he's implying, that African Americans have to be fed by the government or white people, or this guy is basically insulting both sides. I don't even understand what's wrong with this dude, though.
There is where I'm from. There's no like, let's say, welfare or thinking about government. None of that. The government is just there. It's just there just for the sake of it. But Africa, you are entirely reliant on yourself. Just you. You have to fend for yourself. You have to do these things on your own. The cavalry is not coming, and you know this. But in America, when you have a domesticated mind, you're looking for the cavalry. So this is why you see like people say, oh, the Africans don't talk about their government. I'm like, what's there to talk about? They can't do anything for me. So there's nothing to talk about, you see? Because I already know, hey, I'm not getting anything from these people. So it's all about me doing for me. In America,
there's a president in the U.S. who said the president who was assassinated. He basically said that do not ask what the government can do for you. Ask yourself what you can do for the government. So.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
MUCHIRI had to dump on me on that. But I'm not asking for the government to do anything, but at least put things in place that would help, the citizens. Like in America, they have that. So in Africa, all I'm asking in these countries is to make it easy for people to be able to thrive for themselves. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking them to give me checks or whatever,
But that's what you are talking about initially.
No.
You were talking about how the government can give you stuff in the US, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was saying, right? And you were trying to make it like, oh, African governments don't give you anything, so don't ask me what our government does for us.
So
and if
you
that's
don't
the
think-
only outlook, I mean, you should be doing something for your country then.
Yeah, no, the thing is, in America, right? In America, the government does a lot for the people. Okay? The reason why America even does so well, is the strong laws that the government put in place. I mean, as citizens, we can ask for at least that, to put strong laws in place where people can thrive, right?
And that's okay.
'Cause that's what their
I'm
job
not saying
is.
that's a bad thing.
Right.
However, if you're going to complain about a place, what are you doing to fix it?
What,
Are you just going to complain?
Oh, no, I'm not complaining. I'm pointing
You are-
out.
I
I'm
mean, that's the
pointing.
same thing.
No, I'm not. Let me make this clear. I'm shining light on what is true. I know some people, they're like, oh, why don't you go to Gambia or do this and that for them? What's there to do for them? What's there to do for them? The people
I mean,
have
if
to.
you can't help a situation, Then why are you pointing fingers then?
No, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm pointing.
You are. You just said you are pointing a flashlight to it. It's the same thing as pointing a finger.
But what I'm saying, do I have the right as an African, right, to point out what is holding Africa back and the incompetence?
So you think if the government would be giving us those stuff that the government gives, the US government gives, African Americans would be better off?
If they don't have to do that, but if they put strong laws in place, make it easier to do business. I understand, like in Kenya, you guys, it's easy, like Uhuru, from I've read paper on him, from he's very business savvy. He makes it easy. But in most of these places, they don't make it easy to start businesses. You see? They don't make it so easy.
Why are you talking about business, though? You are not talking about business. You are talking about what the government does to individuals.
That's for I'm talking about what the blacks get from the government, from the white American government.
And that was my point. That was what I was commenting.
Yeah, because we're talking
it wasn't about even the business. As much as, yes, you are you're saying the right things about the business thing, you are talking about what the government does to individuals, not business.
Yeah, my whole point is to explain, if we're talking about the domestication, the lion in the zoo is expected to be fed, right? So in America, if you compare African to a black American, they have that safety net where they expect the government to do for them. They, in fact, ask for it. That's my whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
do you think they can get those things by themselves?
Yes.
They can.
Yes. So yes, they can.
So they don't necessarily need, like, they don't expect it. They can actually do those things for themselves.
They can. Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, they're not like caged animals. If they can do it for themselves, if they can go and hunt, they're not caged animals. They're not zoo lions. They're lions.
You're taking it literally, like directly saying they're in a cage. It's an analogy, meaning the mindset. I know that anybody can go get it, but there are people who truly, like generation to generation, they are dependent on the government, the housing, EBT cards, free stuff from the government. So it's a mindset. They've been programmed to believe that they cannot do it themselves, but I know that they can. So that's the point I'm trying to drive there. But if you're caged in your mind, you would think you cannot do it yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I basically agree with him. Yes, we do not have much expectations from our governments, but is that why you're shitting on us? Is that why you're shitting on African countries?
I'm not shitting on African countries. Like I said, I'm pointing out facts.
What are you doing to improve the situation? No, what are you doing to improve your government in Gambia? What are you doing to improve the situation in Africa in general? If you're just saying, negative stuff, then it means you're even making it worse for us. You're making it even harder for people to come and invest here.
Again, I'm only one man.
If the one man had a big platform, do you think it would have had a huge impact?
Well, if somebody have you heard a lot of people that talk on the internet? They have this fantasy about what things are like, in Africa. Then,
I have.
That's not how it is. And I can assure you, it doesn't matter. Like most people that are truly, truly willing to go to Africa and do whatever their investment, when they listen to me, the things I'm pointing out, they would just take it into consideration and be prepared. If they truly have it in their heart to go there, they set it, they're going to go. Because if they have sense, they would know that I'm not deterring them from going, but these are the realities there.
Do you understand that there are people who don't come to Africa because of what the media says about Africa? Do you understand that?
So you want me to lie? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's not lying. However, like I pointed it out, the point where you're calling us lazy, thieves, and whatever, incompetent. And I basically explained all those things.
So I should just allow people to go there.
I mean, it's your opinion if you think Africans are lazy, but also I had to check it, right?
So, well, you've agreed that they are lazy because the
Oh
Chinese.
man, I did not
Yes.
say they're lazy.
Well, you've said it in many words. They can only be laborers. They cannot, do the building.
Man, come on, man, you're not going to put words in my mouth now.
Okay,
Let's not play that game.
Who's building the roads?
Well, I agreed. Most of the roads right now, as we this maybe day and age, it's the Chinese who are building them. Does that equals Africans are lazy?
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
And to even visit and be tourists. Because if that's the case in Africa, then people, so you're making it even worse. You're not even helping out. You're digging us in a deeper hole. So
It's a completely different ball game. In fact, it is expected. People feel entitled. The lion in the zoo about, you see? Because I already know, hey, I'm not getting anything from these people. So it's all about me doing for me. In America, it's a completely different ball game. In fact, it is expected. People feel entitled. The lion in the zoo expects to be fed, right? Yeah, they expect to be fed. The lion in the savannah doesn't expect to be fed. They have to get it themselves. So that's how I came up with that analogy. I know some, they're gonna be hung up on, oh, he compared those to animals. No,
this guy is not for any side. I think he's taking shots at both sides. I don't know.
What did you mean by that, Mishuri?
If you could just play, I think I explained it.
Okay.
I don't know if that sounded good for you, though. I mean, it could be sounding good for the US citizens out there that the government is so nice and they can expect stuff from them. But for me, how it sounds is like you guys are just lazy and you can't do anything for yourselves without needing the government to do it for you. So you're basically saying that you guys are the lazy ones.
There are people who, in fact, the question you ask, you're laughing, but that's that's actually how their life is. That's what that's how they live their life. They don't think they can do it for themselves. They think the government has to do it for them.
And that's what I said, though. But I said I do not know if that's what Americans want.
No, that's why I'm putting emphasis on it. You know.
Well, I mean, if there are people who are lazy, everywhere there are lazy people, like all over the world. So I don't expect that everybody is hardworking. If you're giving people a shortcut, people are going to take it. If you're going to feed people and they won't work, I mean. Who said that people are stupid? They're going to take the shortcut and
they're paying people here
have their
to
belly
stay
full.
home. They're paying people to stay home. Believe that or not.
The stimulus
crazy.
checks and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
But they've cut it back in this month. So hopefully we'll see the lazy people coming back out to work, to look for work. Because I'm hiring.
Would you see a shortcut and not take it really?
Who,
Why
me?
would you? Yeah.
No, if I was taking shortcuts, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
I mean, if you saw a shortcut like that was clearly going to give you an advantage.
Well, I could have taken advantage of those same things. All I gotta be is black, and I'm black already, so I fit that criteria. So that's no problem.
Okay.
So it's no longer us in Africa who are lazy. It's you guys now. I don't know. That's how it sounds to me. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not saying you are literally the animal. It's an analogy. So
Yeah, really good analogy. One I would have never thought about. But let me ask you this, because your home country, and you were just you work with a lot of YouTubers in this burgeoning Pan-African space. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, you're working with. You just did the Happy Companion. My brother from California, he was on yesterday. It was a pretty good stream.
Right.
And you do see certain African Americans that are trying to repatriate. Most notably, you hear Tanzania, Ghana, but a really good place that people are going to is there's Gambians, there's Blacksit, and then there's Bag family. And so now in Tanzania, to talk about that, there are a lot of African Americans who came to Tanzania simply because during last year, during COVID, during the first lockdown or the first strand, the first wave, there wasn't any coronavirus tests. So all of these African Americans or Black British, they came to Tanzania and then they started to leave rapidly. They couldn't stay there long term. So now let's put your analogy into perspective. Did we just see that the domesticated lion could not survive under those circumstances?
Yes.
Can we use that same parable?
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because if you look at it, right, man, people say Africa, they romanticize it. So I'm glad you.
Actually, that is part of the reason why I decided to do this channel, to make this channels, because I was listening to content in the West about Africa, and there was so much romanticization about Africa.
Muriu, you want to talk about that a little bit? Like the stuff that because you said that you hear people romanticizing Africa. So what are some, maybe a couple of the things you've heard that?
Like most of the content that I've been listening to from the West has been mostly on the dating kind of situation. Like and that's
And by the way,
content, though.
sorry.
Yeah.
By the way, Muriu, at the end, he's gonna let you ladies know he's single. Okay, the American women that are going there, but Muriu, he's not even 30 years old yet. He said, "Don't be too older than him." So, but I'll let you continue.
Basically, what I used to hear was that, if you go to Africa, the women are like this and they're special and they're going to do ABCD for you. And that's what I started challenging with my channel, like just giving a perspective of an African towards things, because I clearly understood that so many things are just assumed, and maybe I should just give a perspective as a Kenyan, as an African, towards those things. And also, I usually have host guests here, like even ladies, so they usually come and give their perspective too. So it's not just a man's perspective. So I'm bringing also guests.
Oh, I like that. That.
But it was kind of cringeworthy. You guys think we're so special. I don't know. I had to just make the African perspective on this kind of content.
If you look at it, right, man, people say Africa, they romanticize it. So I'm glad you gave that. When it is, if there's trouble hits like in Africa, it doesn't have to be a major thing. Westerners that are there, they cannot survive it. They have to leave. You cannot live without electricity,
First of all, is there anyone who can visit a place that they are not all that aware of and have problems and not go home? I mean, it only makes sense. It's not a matter of being in Africa. I mean, let's take an example of like when the pandemic started, like it was basically in China, and we saw people leaving that country like.
But that's China though. In fact, I didn't see like here. In fact, even the Africans that were down there in some of the African countries, when the pandemic hit, instead they ran back to here to the States. People are not running out. They're staying. They're coming back here. China, that's
go home,
different.
basically, when you have an issue in a place where you're not familiar with,
But China was
if you have an issue. Sorry.
China was the worst example. Like, who would want to be in China? That's where the thing is. Like,
I mean, like,
Especially,
and when you're saying, like, when we have issues, like, that's where an issue is, right? You have to live where the problem is and go where you're familiar to. Like, if you're a visitor, let's say in Kenya, and we have an issue or conflicts here, it makes sense that you're going to go home.
yeah, but that's what
You
proves
wouldn't
my
you wouldn't stay
point.
where the problem is, and you're not familiar with the environment. You don't have family here. You don't have a lot of friends. You don't know how to navigate this situation. It makes sense that you have to go home.
You answered my question.
Okay, sorry.
You did without even knowing it.
Okay.
You confirm what I was saying there, because these people, the conversation me and O'Shea is having, these people are saying that they are Africans. Through Africans, they can survive it. But obviously, I'm saying when these troubles come, they would find out that they are not Africans.
But does it only apply to Africa?
Huh?
Does it only apply to Africa?
Well, we're talking about where these people.
If there's trouble, like in a country that you've never visited, would you not go back home?
No, not if I say the place is my home. If I live there and I say that's my home,
Well, maybe the people who say Africa is their home too, they'll stay.
well, but did you catch the beginning of the conversation, how me and O'Shea ended up there, right? Because the reason
we
why
played
he's
it, right?
talking, yeah, because the reason why he's talking about this is because of that same thing, the romanticizing of Africa, people saying they're Africans. That's where the conversation is from. So the proof is they cannot pull it off. That's why a lot
Just
of
because maybe they're not used to the environment. After you stayed here for some time, maybe you've made your own connections.
well, these people
or
is,
consider it home. You can't be a visitor and just survive in a place.
but they're
you have
not
to make your roots.
visitors. They were not visitors. They were there for some time. So my whole point is when the Through Africa hits, they won't be able to. They gotta come back to, like some of them say, America that they hate.
Maybe I don't understand who you're speaking to. Maybe
That's
for
why.
example.
Okay, all right. Maybe I can kind of tell there's a disconnect there. But let's let it play a bit.
Like crazy. There's-
I like your critique though. You're so serious about it.
Is that does not equal?
I was just having fun. It was
Yeah.
fun though. I was even laughing.
Yeah, I know. Keep up the good work.
That those guys who were living in China were not were domesticated or whatever it is he's trying to say. Basically, when you have the problems, you have to go back to where you're comfortable. So I don't see how that applies only to Africa.
Like Westerners that are there, they cannot survive it. They have to leave. You cannot live without electricity. You know, like we've lived our lives with no electricity, and it's like it's normal.
That's a lie, big lie. But
You said that's a lie.
Yeah,
You don't think most people in Africa live their life without electricity and it's normal?
most no. A lot of people, yes.
Is the whole of Kenya lit up?
No.
What
Most of it,
percent?
yes.
Okay, so
I'd say about 70-80%.
70-80% of Kenya is lit up 24/7.
They have access to electricity.
Well, I mean, even Gambia, people have access to electricity, but it doesn't.
And it's lit. It's lit 24/7. Then, like,
Yeah, but-
if I have electricity, I can access it all the time I want, right?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe in Kenya the lights don't go out, but most places in Africa, most countries have unstable electricity. Maybe Kenya's is stable.
Light does go out, right?
In
But
Kenya?
yes, but it's not as common as maybe you made it seem. Like you can't do anything, you can't transact, you can't do business here because of electricity. You can do business quite well.
Well, if we are speaking of the type of the people we're talking about, what they are expecting and what they know, you know, the electricity being like that is not a thing. You got to remember, speaking from American perspective and the people We're talking about from an American point of view. So, yeah, I've lived in Africa, and
Two
I've
countries.
seen, yeah, and those two countries, they are very similar to many other.
Among the poor countries, right, in Africa.
Yes, and most of the other countries are poor too. They don't have stable
Among the
electricity.
poor countries like Gambia and Sierra Leone, that was Sierra Leone, the other country, right?
Yeah, but you know, like Nigeria, for
are
example, right?
Are they not among the poor countries? So
Right.
if you're looking at it, the whole of Africa, and you've only lived in the poorest of the countries, then I mean you're going to have a skewed argument.
No, but if you look at it, right, even Nigeria is richer than Kenya, but their electricity is not stable even in Nigeria.
I mean, even in Kenya, we understand that Nigeria does not have a lot of good electricity. And
Yeah,
that's-
but Nigeria
but
is richer than Kenya.
the
You
economy
see?
is bigger. Yes.
Yeah.
It is bigger. However, do you think that electricity is not reliable?
In most parts.
In
Maybe
Nigeria, you're talking about Nigeria.
In most parts, yes. Nigerians themselves will tell you that.
But again, if you're talking about someone who's coming to do business, are they going to do business in the rural areas? Because I don't assume Lagos has such drastic problems.
Well, in this term, you know, we're speaking of the people that are there and their mindset. So, like electricity, electricity being unstable is not a thing where they come from. That's the perspective I'm speaking from.
And
'Cause here in America-
my thing is this: I don't think it would be such a problem. Let's say, okay, from Kenya, let's say we can have a blackout for like 10, 20 minutes, right? In about a span of like 2-3 minutes. In fact, from where I'm staying, like it's been a whole year without any kind of shortages, right?
Yeah, well,
From where
maybe
I'm staying.
okay. Again,
However, I
maybe-
understand there are
maybe-
places in Nairobi also. I'm in Nairobi, right? There are places in Nairobi where maybe sometimes the transformers they have an issue and whatever, but it doesn't happen all that often. You'd hardly notice it.
Well, maybe in Kenya. Maybe in Kenya you guys are doing good electricity wise. But that's not the experience for most other African countries. That's my point here. That's not the
And-
experience for the majority.
Have you lived in the majority of the countries?
I don't have to know this.
Okay, because
Do you know, like,
if you didn't know about Kenya, if I didn't give this argument about Kenya, then you wouldn't know anything about it.
Well, no, because
You're just making
I'm
assumptions.
actually surprised. You trying to argue that the electricity is stable there, but this is not what I heard from other Kenyans. But I'll take your word for it.
Oh, well, and I'm saying it's not in Nairobi, especially. We don't have such issues in the rural areas. It could be.
But
a problem.
Nairobi is just one place.
Yes, and it's a city. It's thriving as a city. Like we don't have issues. If you're coming to Kenya, you can't mention Kenya without Nairobi, right? And most of the transactions are going to happen in Nairobi.
Yeah, but
This is where the life is. Other places, if you're going to go to rural areas, you're basically going to go into
yeah,
business.
but you have to remember, Kenya is not the only country in Africa. You know?
And I mentioned it as I'm talking about Kenya in this perspective. I can't talk about all African countries.
Yeah, but you clearly heard the people he's talking about, right? Because if you're talking to someone like me and those people who are from America, even to, the light not being stable, that's not a thing. We expect that light to be on anytime. Like, it's not a thing for the light to be interrupted. Does it happen every now and again if there's storm? Of course, it does. But that's very rare. Very, very rare. That's not a thing at all. So,
Okay.
so when you listen to some of these people talking, like you said, the romanticization, they are thinking that other places are like America. That's the thought process.
Well, it's not. It's different.
Yeah.
I'll qualify it. Yes, there's some places, let's say in Kenya, we don't have electricity. Yeah, there are some places. But I'd say if you're coming to Kenya, from maybe a big city, you will most likely want to live in Nairobi, because it's going to be the same vibe. You're going to have the things that you're used to. Unless you're going to a rural place and that's what you want, then you can basically expect to have problems with maybe water and roads.
You see, he said you can have issues with water. Water is very important. I mean, as hot as Africa gets, man, you need to have that water to shower.
Like I said, if you are going to a rural place, you expect such things. It's not a secret. I own that. I owned it in my videos. It's not a problem for me.
But I would think like Nairobi is just one place in Kenya. And I
mean, there are other places, there are other towns. Like it's when I'm speaking of Nairobi, maybe I should just mention other big towns. Nairobi is not the only city or town in Kenya. But if I'm talking about rural areas, we can maybe say they have such issues. But we have other urban centers that people can go and live and just thrive in a normal way.
Like with potholes. Those are rural areas. But if you're coming to the big city, Nairobi, that is, if I'm talking about Kenya in this particular instance, you'll have access to everything. Electricity, we do not have a lot of power shortages or blackouts in Kenya or in Nairobi. Yes, we do have them, but he wants to make it like we live without electricity. The electricity might run out for like 20 minutes. No. And the 20 minutes, it's like it was running for like 2 months straight. But then you found this one day 20 minutes of blackout. Then it runs for another like 2 or 3 months without ever having any kind of blackout. So what is he's saying that Africans don't have electricity? Maybe it's where he comes from. Again, Africa has like 54 different countries, completely different. We do not know about each other all that much. So yes, maybe
that needs to be improved, right?
What? Knowing about each other?
No, like the lights going out, even if it's...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
He's talking about where he's coming from. But if you guys want to come to Kenya, we are good. I would let this guy just talk ill about the whole of Africa in general. He can talk about his home country. Let him talk about that. But, when it comes to Kenya, I'm a good ambassador. Unlike this guy, he's just the worst of the worst.
When you say that to somebody, they're like, how are you able to manage that? Even though we didn't have the electricity, I guarantee you, I watched movies that, people watched here. I was able to watch movies. I used to go to what they call video clubs. Mm-hmm. Some people have generators, and some people have like car powered batteries, So I wasn't saying people, because I'll let it finish, because I think you misunderstood what I'm talking about here.
Okay.
I have to go. It's literally a hustle. I have to go find it. So when I find a place where I can watch that movie, oh man, I'm watching the movie till the end.
This guy, you might think that we do not have TVs and computers.
But how did you come to that? I just finished saying I watch movies, till the end.
I mean, you said you go to a place to watch the movies and stuff. Like, you're making it seem like, if you're in Africa, back then in Africa, you didn't have all those things. Like, even people couldn't afford them. We had them.
Most people didn't have those, and they still don't.
And I think I explained it. I'm not from a rich background, and we had those things. I watched movies comfortably in my mom's house.
Yeah, but I just explained, if despite not having the electricity, I was just explaining how I watched movies that kids watch here in America. Mm-hmm. I still had access to it.
Well, but did you have access to them like in your own home?
Sometimes if the light's on, mm-hmm. Yeah. Or I can go to other places, and if they have generator, maybe I wasn't as rich as you growing
And
up.
I wasn't rich.
Oh, okay. Well, you had computers and all. I didn't have that. Where am I gonna plug them?
We had electricity. That was the point, actually.
So you're rich. So you see
No,
you.
no. Actually, we were not rich. We
Oh,
were
okay.
just average.
Oh, okay.
I mean, how am I
and-
recording these things?
Oh, sorry. You were saying?
And most of my friends actually in my neighborhood, and I'm not from Nairobi. This is a place I just came to for work.
Yeah.
This is a rural area, considering like how Nairobi is set up, and we had all those things back then.
See, so Kenya, you guys are doing better than the rest of us in Africa.
I don't think so. I think you just don't understand other African countries.
Oh, no, I do. I mean, because these stories that I'm talking, the things I'm saying here, there are tons and tons of Africans that can relate to this. But maybe you are.
I mean, I do relate to them. I understand what you're saying. However, the bracketing of everyone is like that. That is what I'm.
But if
against,
that's
right?
the majority, why wouldn't I say it this way?
I wouldn't say it's the majority.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, this
Maybe
is
a lot of people. This is the,
You know-
this is the thing. A lot of people, yes. A majority.
I've shared these
I'll
stories
disagree.
with Kenyans here in the States, and they seem to relate to this a lot, and they've told me their stories too.
I relate to it, like, and I clearly understand what you're saying. Even though when you're saying like you used to go to these movie places, I knew some friends of mine used to go to those places.
Where they
It's not
pay,
like I
right?
didn't. Yes, I knew them. I knew those areas. It's not like it didn't exist. However, did we have these things also in our homes? Yes.
Well, I'm not I mean, like, trust me, we had TV in our home. Like, we had TV. My grandfather had TV. Other people have TV. Some neighbors I know have TV. But the whole point is people can have TV, but if there's no light, electricity keeps going out, the water goes out. It's unstable. It's not a stable thing. So I'm actually like surprised by what I'm hearing, because Kenya, I've had Kenyans that this has not been their experience. Their experience is similar to mine. But I mean, I guess you're an anomaly.
You could find them. There are, like I said, even I also have friends who can share the same experience. I also had some visited areas where I went to those places, right? It's not
But I
something
can
that
assure
didn't
you,
experience.
like, the excuse you're making about lights, you definitely need to come to a different country.
Electricity in Kenya is quite okay.
Yeah, if you come to other places, you will see what the standard is.
Well, I wouldn't.
And I'm not the only YouTuber in the country. In fact, I'm just starting off. There's some big channels with like crazy figures, millions of subscribers. Yes, in Kenya we have them, but he might make you think that we are like living in caves.
I never said that, but okay.
I said you can make it feel like you might seem like. I didn't say you said that.
No, okay.
And movies. Let's talk about movies. I have watched almost all the movies that you guys have watched growing up. I have watched cartoons like Tom and Jerry, The Gargoyles. Like when I was growing up, like obviously right now I'm not watching a lot of stuff. It's clear.
But you see, I already said I watched movies, but you're making it seem like I'm saying people didn't watch movies.
You're making it seem like it was a hassle.
Oh, no,
to
it
even get a
was.
movie.
Oh, yeah, it was a hustle for most people that I know. We could be sitting there enjoying the movie, and then boom, the electricity goes out. Or we're watching the soccer, like World Cup or African Cup of Nations. People are excited, and then boom, the light goes out. This happens, quite often. So if you're saying
Does it happen? Yes. Often? No. It happens, but not often.
Oh, okay.
I do not have that much time to watch movies, but I watched all those kind of movies. Let's say even back then. Let me speak about back in the day, because that's what is maybe basing it on. I watched Sinbad. I watched Conan.
I watched Sinbad too.
You did. It was a nice movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched those in video club, you know.
Yeah.
Commando.
I watched them at home. I
Yeah.
watched them at home.
Oh yeah, so you are doing good.
Nope.
You were-
Most of my friends watched it from home. So
Oh yeah. So you and your friends, you guys were doing good.
my neighbors, let me put it that way. And I'm not from a like. I wish I was able to show
And-
you my neighborhood. And
Yeah.
It wasn't a rich neighborhood, really.
Well, okay.
I watched Rambo. I watched Cow and Chicken, the cartoons. Like every single cartoons, or maybe not all of them that you guys were watching, but a lot of stuff that you guys were watching. I basically have knowledge of them. So, and I wasn't even living in Nairobi. I'm from a rural place, and I had access to all those things. We had TVs. We didn't have a lot of channels, TV channels, true, but we had all these things. We had electricity even back then, when I was a younger person. You know, I had a computer back then.
But would you say that's the majority of the people's?
Computer no.
Okay.
And yes, maybe I had a few privileges, and I'm not from a well-off family. You know, I might speak like this, and you might be thinking, "Oh, you guys were just rich in those days." No, we were not. We were basically lower middle income guys. Lower middle income. We are next to to the poor guys. But I wouldn't say we were poor, but we had a lot of struggles too. I'm not trying to make it look like everything was just fine. So that's not the statement. But the thing is, the way he's making it sound, it's like we were having it so bad. And if you came to Kenya or Africa, it's so bad that you cannot do anything here. That is simply not the case.
You know, that's not what I'm saying, right?
That's how it seems to me. That's how it sounds to me.
Okay, that's your interpretation.
True.
That's not what I said, though, right?
Well, you can clarify if you want to.
Well, you heard exactly what I said.
Well,
Because what you're saying-
I still hold the same opinion, though.
Yeah, but what you're saying about the light stability, because even if you look in the chat, there is tons of Africans, even some Kenyans disagreeing with you.
I mean, like I said, it's not like it never happened. That's not the point, really.
I'm watching even the credits and everything. When I find a place where I can watch that movie, oh man, I'm watching the movie till the end.
Also, on that note, we have movie theaters here, many of them.
I'm watching even the credits and everything. You see, so that's the difference. And when people say they are in Africa, they are only there when it's cool. But when truly the true Africa raises its head, they're gonna leave. They won't be able. They can't face it.
What is the true Africa? What is the true Africa?
The true Africa is complete opposite of here. Things, not convenient. Things are not fast paced. You have to lower your expectation, or you shouldn't have any expectation. To be quite honest.
I mean, come on, man. Like, obviously, we are not a first world country, or in Kenya, or most of us are not all that well off. It's true, but I don't think there's anyone coming to Kenya expecting that he will live the same way he lives in the US.
You'll be wrong, man. Some people expect that. They have that expectation. Like, have you heard some of these people talk, or some of the videos they are putting out? I'm telling you, they expect that. They expect that.
Okay.
Yeah, they really do.
I don't know why, because I mean, you can Google some things and you can find that maybe we have our own struggles here.
that's why I'm telling you, like, even though you're saying the 20 minutes, whatever, still that doesn't meet their standard of how people live here. I'm telling you.
And will that make them so uncomfortable? 20 minutes of no electricity in like 3
You
years
don't-
of running
you-
electricity, really?
You don't know most Americans, do you? That's why that's why you're saying this. I don't think you've met most Americans.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, when it comes to the American side, I am avoiding to talk about it because, again, it's not my experience. So,
Yeah, and even you, if you live out of Kenya for some time, your perspectives and expectations and standards, it will change, because when you see what is possible, you would feel that you're being cheated in Africa. You're gonna feel that way.
and I understand they're developed countries. I'm not taking that away. I mean, I know it's going to be, it's maybe quite better than what it is like in Kenya, like in the US. It's not the point, really.
Okay.
Right? And especially if he's not coming to live in Nairobi. He's going to have issues when you go to the, even I, when I'm going to the rural places, I expect to have issues with different things. I don't expect to have things the way I have it in Nairobi. Okay? So when he says you should lower your expectations, if you're coming with expectations that everything works the same way as in the US, maybe, yes, lower that one. But I actually don't think anyone is coming here expecting that everything's just the same way as you guys have it in the US or in the Western countries. If you're having it, if you think that's the case, then, well,
That's what true Africa is. You have to be, it's a day-to-day thing. It's a day-to-day thing. And, I know some are going to come and say, oh, that's not how my life is. Okay, that's great. But I'm speaking in generality, the majority. I'm speaking about the majority, you see? And
and I'll give him, when he said that something true that I'm going to give him, yes, Africans, there's a majority of, a lot of us are living day to day, just getting some money for the day and feeding your family, yourself, and maybe doing some basic stuff, and that's it. Then tomorrow you go for another hustle. So yes, there are a lot of people living like that, but I don't think if you're coming to Africa, you're going to be living like that yourself. I'm not living like that. I have my own savings.
I'm surprised you agreed with me on that.
Yeah, I mean, the point of making the video was not really to disagree with you. It was just to give my perspective on this, really. And
Right.
if I, like I said, if I agree with something, I am perfectly capable of saying that I'm wrong on something, or I agree with you on some things. I'm not just trying to say you're wrong at everything.
Right.
And yes, Africans do live day to day. Like most, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of Africans I know, even especially in the rural areas, that's how they live. They go get a few jobs here and there, and they take food to their families. That's it.
All right.
I'm living a decent life. Okay, so if I can do it, I don't think you can come with, as long as you have skills, you'll apply them in Nairobi. You'll do just as well as everybody else is doing.
Also, the way things, especially in Gambia, the way things work also, it's more community. It's a bunch, like the people you're related to are really, really like, there's no break in there in your life, mingling in it.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? People
Yes.
can just show up. They can just show up at your place whenever,
Right.
just to come eat or whatever.
Well, there's some truth to that, but it's not as it. I don't know. Maybe. Let me just give it this one to him, because there's this guy who shows up at my home place or where my mom lives, and he basically, even my mom knows, the guy just comes for food.
Is he still showing up?
It's been a while since I was at home, so I'm not really sure if he's still showing up. But yeah, the guy used to come for lunch hours or evening hours. In Kenya, we do take tea in the evening, so he used to take
Time
a
it.
very nice time.
Oh yeah,
no.
I know people like that. There are people who are good at the timing. That's normal. Yeah.
So yeah.
Or tea or whatever it is that mom was gonna offer. So that is kind of true.
Black people don't tolerate that in the West.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. You got to call first.
You gotta call first. If you show up and you didn't call, they won't let you in. But
That's so true.
yeah, yeah. In fact,
That is how Nairobi works too. So if someone came to my place and I wasn't expecting them, there's no way he's coming in. I'm not in the house. Hello, are you there?
come on, Mishuri, what happened to your African hospitality, man? Huh?
Well, Nairobi is not the same as being in the rural area. You're living your own life in Nairobi. Everybody's coming to get paid in Nairobi.
Right.
Everybody, in fact, everybody is like coming from the rural areas. Nairobi is not a lot of people are born in Nairobi who are making.
So it's
it
like the
in Nairobi.
hustle center.
Yeah. So you don't come and just be a stranger and like just come to my place. You have to make an appointment maybe.
Wow, this guy. Listen to this guy.
I'm like, what? Where? I wanted to come. I'm just around the neighborhood. I wanted to pass by your house. I'm like, no, I'm not in.
Even like, trust me, I hang out with a lot. This guy, I hang out with a lot. This guy will be perfect in America. he's already practicing it.
No, it's just this is everyone in Nairobi. I can promise you that. No one wants just a visitor from nowhere. You need to organize yourself.
Yeah, it can be annoying sometimes.
Oh, it is very annoying.
Yeah, a lot of black people. My ex-wife, she was black. Okay.
African American.
African American.
Okay.
And we go to barbecues. Like with black people, if you come into barbecue, they always ask, "Hey man, you gotta bring your own food." It's like see this part here. This comment pissed off. One of you guys is a black American Kenyan. He's from a new tribe. He's a Kenyan now. This is the part that pissed him off.
Who? I don't understand.
Oh, are you familiar with a guy named Pan-Africanism Strikes Back?
The name sounds familiar. I
He's a-
think I've watched maybe some. I don't know. I'm not. Maybe not comment on that. I'm not sure.
He's a Pan-Africanist. Heading. He's in Kenya. I mean, not right now, but he likes Kenya. He loves Kenya.
I'll check him out. I don't know.
But this part is what pissed him off because he's about the food. So this part he made a video. He made a video about it. Afridamos is a dumbass for saying this.
About the food thing.
The food part. This is what
Because-
pissed him off.
What about it pissed him off?
Well, I'll play it all. This part would, you'll hear it. I'm like, okay, if I gotta bring my own food, I can just eat that at my own place,
Right.
So, but with Africans, the difference, you can just show up. You can even bring your own. Some people bring their bowl. So after they finish eating and carry some home.
Yes, that happens in the African American community also.
Yes. Oh no.
Yeah, especially in the weddings, we have to carry some food from you're not going to dance the whole day in the wedding and then you go and cook in the evening. If especially the ladies who are cooking the meals in the weddings, they have to carry some food to take back home.
So in Nairobi, this rule is still intact.
I don't know. It's in Nairobi. I'm not sure, but the last time I was in a wedding was like a long time ago, and I was a kid. I was still back in the rural areas, so
Oh, yeah, okay.
I haven't been in Nairobi in a wedding in Nairobi, so I don't comment on that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that is kind of true, but again, take it with a grain of salt.
You know what? Let me rephrase that.
Yeah. Right.
So, but with Africans, The difference, you can just show up. You can even bring your own too. Some people bring their bowl. So when after they finish eating and carry some home.
Yes, that happens too in the African American community also.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
it happens there
You know
too.
what? Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
I've met black people whom, especially if they're from the South. From the South,
Yeah.
they act like Africans though. That part
Yeah.
of them. Yeah, they act like Africans.
Bro, I would want to go to the south now because I know my people are there.
I don't think you want to go. You want to move there, but okay.
Really? Why? Why not? I mean, it sounds like that's where I'll be feeling at home, right?
Yeah. Well, you would. Yeah, some parts maybe if you like some places like in North Carolina or some
Okay.
parts, South Carolina and Atlanta. Some of those areas, yeah, you could.
Okay.
Yeah, but it all depends, though. They
Yeah.
they seem to be much nicer. Just don't go to Alabama. Yeah.
Alabama is like, it's a no-go zone. Like, is it like a white supremacist area or something?
No such thing, but
Oh,
It's-
I
if-
see that a lot,
you see what?
like on the internet, like.
Oh,
the
that's-
narrative.
It's a victimhood mentality. If they say that, ask them if white people are superior to them. They would tell you, no. So therefore, no such thing as white supremacy.
Alright.
Unless
They're
they want to
contradicting themselves.
exactly. But there's a lot of places, I can tell you not to go to.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, these places are cool, but if you're about making money, you want to stay, in the West Coast and most of the East Coast. Yeah.
It sounds like the cool places.
Yeah, those are the cool places. Yeah. Yeah, I live in one of the coolest places, or, some parts of the Midwest. So, yeah. That hospitality part, they
Right.
have that. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding me of that. This is true. I'm speaking more of like the city blacks.
So let me ask you this, because there's a lot of people that are trying to get back into Africa. We see it because there's people. I mean, there's a whole community. There's a whole content strategy. You're YouTubers too.
Mm-hmm.
You see, there's a whole repat market now. Like,
Right.
yes, Eat, Love, Migrate, and
I don't know who that is.
Eat, Love, Migrate. King of Batunda. There's there's a whole economy now.
Do you know these guys? MUCHIRI. Are you there? Oh, can you hear me?
Sorry.
You're frozen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh. Man, one thing I can say for sure, your internet in Kenya is really good.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I have no comparison. I only have the internet here.
Well, I've talked to other people from other places in Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a ghost messing with the internet, but
Yeah.
yeah, you were frozen. But let me play this one more.
There's one lady that you did a video with, that's controversial video, with the lady that was an Exodus house. So that was a whole situation with that, right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole thing, and a lot of people, feel like, well, Africa is calling me, the motherland is calling me.
Yeah, Africa has been picking up the phone, calling black people in America, telling them to come. That's what's been happening,
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they should come, especially to Kenya. I'm welcoming them, all of them. Please,
Right.
hit me up.
Well, you have to watch Pan Africanism Strikes Back. He would definitely love it. He would love to hear you say, you're welcoming him. Yeah, he would definitely.
He's welcome. He should hit me up. I'm welcoming him.
Yeah, I think he's got a land over there and everything, according to him. So, yeah, there's a. Do you know African Reacts?
I've seen him. I saw his video and I reacted to it actually.
Yeah, he's in the chat. He said, "No, don't welcome them to Kenya." Because African Reacts is from Kenya.
Oh man, sorry, my boy. I think I'd also seen him on some comments and we had interacted a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my guy. I will consider maybe if they're of good character, maybe.
Okay.
White supremacy in the West is this Jew strut. I'm tired of the white man holding me back and all this other stuff. And then they want to move to Africa and it could be free. You being and I was talking to you before when I was coming up, and I had some African friends, in California. And when I would talk about going back to Africa, they would always say, it was a good percentage of them saying like, "Hey, I know you're interested, but you're wasting your time." And they also have some of the.
You hear what O'Shea said there?
Yeah.
So a lot of Africans, even straight up, these are not from where I come from. On the ground here, you talk to them, this is their perspective.
Well, I can't speak about that. Like I said, if it's an American experience, I admit I've not experienced it. If I'll come there and maybe change my mind on what I'm saying.
Oh no, you will, no doubt. Trust me.
If that's a possibility, then I mean I would gladly say yes, I was wrong.
Yeah, because you will see what is possible, and you will feel like, okay, these people are playing around, not like in America, but back in Africa, especially with the leaders, you would be more upset with them with things that you see. Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it a pejorative sentiment, but I think that what you're trying to say is more realistic outcomes. What advice would you give to people who have been, pampered in the West with, you have jobs and then there's 401k and then there's, you got Walmart and then there's Best Buy, and then you're going to Gambia where you can't get a MacBook, and there's no such thing as Kroger's or, there's not Foot Locker, and those are not things that you're used to having. And
Okay. I believe he said that some stores, we have a lot of stores. Maybe in Gambia, man. This is the problem with bracketing everyone in the same group.
Do you guys have Apple stores there?
Yeah.
Walmart?
I mean, we have different kind of stores. They're not the same. They're not named the same thing.
But see, I know that O'Shea's been to Kenya, to Nairobi even.
Yeah.
So if he's not naming those stores in comparison to what these people are used to, there's a reason why he's not naming those, because he knows if you're used to what America has to provide, those stores that even you yourself, you come and see those stores, and the ones you think are so big, they would look like a joke to you. I'm telling you, man, it's no joke.
But the thing is, they are there and they have everything someone might need on a basic necessity, right?
Okay. Yeah, but the people he's talking about here, the people with his...
If you're looking for a MacBook, you'll find it. If you're looking for iPhones, you'll find them all over the place. Like
they have the store there and I'm not talking about like you buy it, like something that fell off the, they call it the black market whatsoever. Like this is official. Like you just
yeah,
you walk. Okay.
Yeah, like a legit iPhone. There's so many people, even my friends. I personally don't use an iPhone. Most Africans don't use iPhones. We are mostly Android. But again, like it's not that they don't exist. It's maybe iPhones are costlier for us. Most of the Androids are very affordable, so we opt to that, and they operate the same thing. They're all smartphones. There's nothing that someone with an iPhone has that someone with an Android doesn't have.
Yeah, but most of these people are not willing. They want to be able to have lots of options.
Well, and like I said, the iPhones are here. You just have to buy them. It's just that Africans in general are not. They don't buy iPhones like in bulk. Only a few people buy them.
Okay.
In Africa. 54 countries. And you think, let's say...
By the way, they do have stores in Gambia, just so you know. They do have stores there.
Will someone get all the basic things that they need in the
Uh,
stores?
sure.
Then why bring the point then? If they're going to
Well,
access
because
everything they need, then they can
not,
access it,
I
right?
don't think if from American standard, is they're not gonna get everything, And I'm surprised if you say in Kenya you would come there and have the same standard as America. I'm a bit surprised by that.
I didn't say the same standard, but you'll get what you need.
Okay.
Let's say Nigeria. You think you're going to go and find no stores or supermarkets in Nigeria? Let's say South Africa. Let's say Kenya. Come on, man. Oshe, man, you're lying. Stop it, Cup, man. I mean, Oshe has been in Kenya. Like, does he really believe that we don't have like these markets? Maybe they're not.
But that's not what he said. Because even Gambia has supermarkets.
Well, like I said, this is my perspective and the video the way I heard it. He didn't say that we have them. Like he was making it seem like you might lack a few things.
No, but if you hear the beginning, he mentioned the stores that people here in America are used to. He gave the different examples. So he's saying, can these people imagine they go to Africa and these places, they're not gonna, like, I just wish if you were here in America, for you to see, you would be able to see exactly what we're talking about. Then it would make sense to you.
As many, that's what they're trying to say. There's not as many as there are where you guys are from. I don't know that because I'm not living there, but we have so I don't even want to mention them. There's so many in here, and like getting a MacBook, come on, man. There's so many people I know, my friends, personal friends who have MacBooks, iPhones,
Did someone send it to them or they got it from the MacBook store there?
They bought it from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe in Gambia that's the case. If that was the case, they would have just stuck to Gambia. Don't bracket Africa in that one group that you want to do it.
Good customer service. What do you tell a person that wants to repatriate or move back to Africa eventually when they've never owned a business and they've never had to go out there and hustle on a daily basis, or their skills might not translate to what's there in the Gambia or Uganda or Tanzania? What advice do you give somebody who has that interest?
See, this is the thing. A lot of people, especially in America, when you talk to them, I've heard these people talking. The problem is they cannot see outside the box. They cannot think outside of themselves. They think, the rest of the world, is exactly like America. That's what they think, but it doesn't look like that. Because if you're going to these places, you must leave all the American expectations that you have. And I've been seeing, majority seem like to be females, and there's no building happening, okay? These are single women. Most of them are old already. They said they're going there to build, to do business. They've never done business here in America. I mean, there's no way.
Say it again. That's the good important part. Say that again.
Yeah.
They've never done what?
They've never done business.
Right.
But they want to go to Africa because I hear people all of a sudden, they're business experts.
Right.
Oh, I'm gonna do this. Like, okay, oh, I have this skill. That's not needed in Africa. Like, how are you gonna translate that there? Some of these things they talk about, it requires stable electricity.
Yes.
No, the electricity there is not stable. You need reliable. You disagree with that again?
I mean, I clearly did.
But okay, what about all these people in all these different African countries? Not only me saying this, right? If it were just me, sure, but even the very, Pan-Africanist, the repats, go listen to some of the videos. They would, they talk about the instability of the electricity. This is not me saying this.
You're talking about someone coming to do business, right? And if you're doing business, most likely, I'm not saying you can't do business in the rural areas. You'll be in the cities. Like,
but you know why
all
Africa,
these cities have to operate with like electricity, right?
But do you understand like what stable electricity can do for a country?
I literally, I'm not saying we don't need it.
You cannot prosper, you cannot progress, you cannot be industrialized if you cannot produce stable electricity. It's the root. You gotta have that. If you want it to be efficient and things to happen, there's a reason why I keep repeating this electricity stuff, because I know it's the nucleus of everything. If they light Africa up and make it stable electricity, you would see how quickly things would change. Like it would change overnight. Trust me.
The only problem is that I don't agree that we have such a huge issue, especially if you're doing business and you're going to be like navigating in a city. Then I won't.
Yeah, but not everybody is gonna, like want to be in the city.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna want to be there. You see? Yeah.
I don't know why this guy keeps saying that. Which part of Africa are you talking about? Gambia? I don't know. Maybe you guys don't have electricity, but yo, come to Nairobi, we have a beautiful, beautiful city that is lit. I'm gonna show you images. You guys,
is that New York City?
No, this is Nairobi.
Nairobi. Okay, so they have the lights going on, right? But like that, not everyone's gonna want to live in Nairobi. You see?
I mean, if you're like I said, if you're doing business, most likely you're going to operate in Nairobi.
So if it's not,
I'm not denying the fact that I already said that places without electricity or without stable electricity. I already said that. I'm not denying that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, not too many people are.
However, there are also people who might want to just live that rural kind of life. They might just want to go and experience that. Who will say that's a bad thing? Let them go there and experience it.
But you see, like, most of the black people that are probably wanting to come, right?
Mm.
They're probably from a city, big, whatever. They probably don't even want to go live that life again. That's why they're coming to Africa.
There are also other rural areas that let me again speak for Kenya. There are also other rural areas like where I'm from.
What about suburbs?
There are suburbs here.
Yeah.
You want to believe that? You believe that, but I'm gonna put an image of Nairobi, and I'm gonna have to edit this video now so that you guys see we have electricity. Because how are we supposed to live in a big city without electricity? Maybe I'm gonna give him the skills bit. Maybe there are some few things that maybe might not translate here. Okay, if you've never done business over there, don't come expecting you're going to excel in business here. We have dope businessmen here. They're very competitive. You're not just going to come and show up with your business idea here and just think you're going to run the town. It's not going to happen. You have to do it from over there first of all and succeed from over there, and then come and see if you're going to succeed here. So I'll give him those ones, but him saying that we do not have electricity, stable electricity, we do. Especially in Kenya, I'm going to qualify that. But in Gambia, they don't have electricity, probably.
No, we do. It's just not stable.
Well,
We do have electricity.
Yeah, we have stable electricity here.
Yeah. Well, we're not Kenya, but we do.
That's what I was saying. The way you're bracketing it's.
Well, I'm just talking about the majority. Do you think right now that Nairobi you showed me, right? Mm-hmm. If we go across 54 countries, how many of this would we see?
I'm going to say Nairobi is among the biggest cities in Africa.
Yeah,
so
but
yes, it's not going to be the recurrence of all the places. So
That's what I'm talking about, because Nairobi is not the only place in Africa. I'm talking about the majority here.
yeah.
Like,
Let me just say something. I might be having someone calling me in a bit. I'm sorry.
oh, okay, yeah, it's almost at the end, anyways. We're almost done
Okay.
here.
So
Yeah, we're almost done.
Someone is trying to reach me.
Okay, we're almost done here.
Okay.
Other countries will do.
For people, it requires stable electricity.
Yes.
It's not, the electricity there is not stable. You need reliable people. People that understand what is going on. Good luck finding that. If you find them, hey, hold on to them, but you're gonna be searching for a while.
If you guys are looking for people to work with, if you're coming to Kenya, hit me up. I'm gonna connect you. There's so many people who I know are reliable. They are skilled in terms of different things. I don't know.
Anyways, y'all, you heard it here. MUCHIRI said if you're looking for skillful people, reliable, he got you. You
got
guys
you,
heard
man.
him.
I got you.
He got you. All right.
I don't know.
Not everything though. not in terms of everything. Of course, there are some things I might be limited in. So
Okay.
Really don't understand what he's trying to imply that we do not have in terms of skills here, because Nairobi is basically a city just like New York. I can't imagine.
You said Nairobi is like New York?
like the way it operates, really.
Huh,
Like
okay.
if what do you think that people in New York can access that people in Nairobi can't?
Huh. So that means Nairobi is pretty advanced.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Nairobi is New York. They're not on the same page. That's not the case. I'm just saying if you're coming to Nairobi, whatever it is you are able to access there, most likely you're going to be able to access it here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty advanced if it's like New York.
That's not what I'm saying also.
But New
So
York,
don't
if
put
you-
words in my mouth. Don't
well,
put
New
words
York
in my mouth.
is pretty advanced. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but most of the things you will be able to access there, I would challenge you to actually tell me something that you think we don't have in Nairobi or we can't access.
Well, I've
that-
never been, so
Okay.
I've never been, but I've been to New York, so
But I'm also not saying that there's nothing. But most of the things, maybe you'll be able to just get them here.
okay.
Imagine there's anything that is being done in the big cities around the world that is not or cannot be done in Kenya. Maybe we are slow in adapting them. Maybe we might have a few hiccups, but I can assure you, if it's being done in a different city, it's going to work here. Maybe it might not be as profitable, but it will work. People are going to be interested in it.
No, people that understand what is going on. Good luck finding that. If you find them, hey, hold on to them, but you're gonna be searching for a while. Okay? And also, who are you going to be selling to? This is my question. Who are you going to be selling to? Yes, you're coming with your money, you exchange it, but you're just gonna be spending it. Who are you going to be selling it to? I've heard some people say, oh, I'm gonna open up a soul food place. I see that there's so many Gambian haters in this chat room today. What is wrong with you people? I see where your hearts are. You hating on Gambia as if that's supposed to hurt my feelings. FB and Nigel, you are not welcome in Gambia anymore. But these people can't even cook. Man, these are haters here today. I cannot believe it.
I
FB and
can't see the
Nigel.
chat though. I can't
Yeah.
see the chat.
If you want to prove that you could open a soul food place in Africa, you should open it here first. And you should open it here, because look, Oshay, I'm a businessman. I own my own company out here. Okay, I have 8 employees, in my company. So I know that you cannot just get up and say, oh, I'm gonna start a business and be successful. Even in America, it's difficult. where all the conditions literally favors you. Literally favors you. But these people still cannot pull that off here. Now you go to a place where the conditions are against you, the language barrier, lack of electricity, the comforts that you're used to, your supplies. Technically these countries are more expensive than people really think, because electronics are expensive there.
Oh yeah.
And what if your electronics, even like maybe your apps that you need for businesses, maybe they don't even translate there, they don't work.
I mean, yes, of course, if you're coming here to try something, I mean, you must be knowledgeable in that field. You don't just come here to do things that you've never even tried. And like I said, we have businessmen here. We are very competitive, so don't come here thinking that everything is going to be so much easier for you. It's not going to be. In terms of, like, let's say the way he's saying, like, people are going to develop your apps, or if apps are going to work. I could say majority of Kenyans have smartphones. As long as you're doing Android, that's what we operate here with.
Decide anything, go look at. I'm moving it fast because MUCHIRI is gonna leave here in a second. What the Africans spend their money on. I want the ladies to hear his message first.
True, I agree.
That's what you have to look at. What do they spend the money on? And you go from there. But I can assure you, man, in the hustle and bustle of the African market, man, these people coming from the West being pampered, there's no way they would survive that. Look at, there was an old lady over there in Gambia making video. She thinks she's shaming the people about the chicken, the frozen chicken, saying, oh, the electricity goes out, these chickens are thawed, they put them back in. Like, ma'am, you went all the way to Africa to buy frozen chicken there? You should be shopping in the local market. But they can't even go in the market and mingle with the people. How are you gonna start a...
Yes, there's a method to the madness. Like, there's a way we do things here that maybe is different from over there.
You agree with me on that, right? You can buy live chicken in the markets there.
Just go and slaughter it.
Yeah, exactly.
buy a bunch of them. Yeah, you don't need to refrigerate them. But again, you can refrigerate them if you want to, if that's their business model. But again, there's a market where you can just get live chicken and slaughter them live.
I'm going to give him that. But if you come here, if you want to go buy chickens, as he's saying, go to the market. There's people selling chickens, live chickens. You don't have to refrigerate them. Just go grab them, slaughter them, and sell them if you want to, if that's what you're trying to do, instead of trying to refrigerate them. But again, electricity is here. In Kenya, we have electricity. If you want to refrigerate your chicken, you can do that here without no problem.
Business. How are you going to start a business? You see what I'm saying? You have to interact with the people. And I'm telling you, you're going to run into a lot of shady Africans. I'm sure, O'Shea, you've run into some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have my share.
Yeah. So my advice to them is, be realistic, man.
Is Africa the only place with shady people? I mean, I have run into them. I'm a Kenyan, but I don't think I'd come to the US and think everybody's just cool. That's not the case. If you just use your common sense, you'll survive anywhere. Don't trust everyone. Vet everybody that you meet. Don't just let everyone in your business. Use your common sense. Use your brain. You're going to survive.
Be realistic. Don't fool yourself. Business is tougher in Africa than America.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're a businessman over there, so you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
If I know, that I'm not lying.
You need a lot of infrastructure.
Yeah, lack of infrastructure. Potholes everywhere. You see, but one thing in Gambia, you could live comfortably if you want, but you gotta have the money to live in certain areas. Even the people with the money, you can have your money, but there are things you cannot get, that even a regular person here in America is getting every day. So they have to be ready for all that, and a lot of these people I'm watching, listening to, they're not ready for all that, because they want to base it on asking for donations. You cannot base your African trip to go live there on donations. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I mean, if you just want to go create content, hey, I think content creating is a big thing there now, as we can see. But a lot of the people that are going, like I said, single women, and these are middle-aged women. This is where MUCHIRI is about to do his speech. Ladies, open your ears, take your cotton ball, whatever blockade is there, listen to what MUCHIRI is about to say here. Men who are already, like washed up in America. Now, I guess Africa is the last leg. Who knows? More power to them.
Is it trying to imply that they're trying to come and get African men?
Maybe.
Yeah, yo guys, ladies, I'm single, man.
You guys heard MUCHIRI, right? He's letting you guys know right now, but I'm gonna let him play him so you guys hear the rest what he has to
If
say.
you want to link up with me and you're coming from the US, hit me up, hit your boy up, man. We might work something out.
If they can survive it.
But please don't be older than me. I'm in my late 20s, but
I hate to tell you, they are probably gonna be older than you, okay? More than likely.
Oh well, they don't qualify then. It's too
More
much.
than likely.
I date younger women. There's no way I'm dating an older woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more than likely gonna be older than you.
Please allow me to just excuse myself, even if
Yes.
it's for a few minutes, maybe. Then I can come
Yeah.
back. Just let me just pick this up.
Well, yeah, go for it, man. You're good.
Yeah.
And before you leave, tell the people where what your channel is, so they can subscribe to you.
People can find me at Muchiri wa Muriu. That's my YouTube channel. Muchiri wa Muriu.
Can you send me the link on the private chat there, so I can put it in the chat?
I don't have the link right now.
Okay. Either way, I'll find it. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So that's my channel. I'm making content reacting to American kind of stuff, their lifestyle, their dating, and maybe politics at some point, and giving commentary about whatever it is I think as an African on what is happening. That's basically my channel.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it. And you definitely, came in and stood your ground. So that's good. So guys, I just put his link in the chat there.
Yeah.
Go check him out. He's got good content. He's fiery. You're gonna get that Kenyan fire from him, So follow him, and ladies, you heard him.
Yeah.
He's single,
But not for everyone.
not for everyone. Okay. Well,
All right, man.
thanks for
I'll see you.
coming.
Thank you so much.
All right, enjoy.
be younger than me, please.
Good for them, but I doubt it. I doubt it. The Africa that I know, and knowing black people here in America, very few can survive it, to be honest with you. Very few can survive it there. Because even the sensibilities is different.
I really don't believe that. Maybe you guys are used to comfort, but the thing about being a human is that we're very adaptable. That's how we've been able to survive as a species for years, So it's like it's somewhat insulting to say that African Americans cannot survive in Africa. Anyone can survive in Africa. Just have to be smart. You just have to adapt to the situation, to the environment, and you'll be good. So just it's not as hard as he wants to make it seem. But again, I'm speaking as a person who's living here. I'm ignorant in the perspective of what you guys are actually living like there. Maybe you guys are so pampered that it's basically impossible to live anywhere else. It could be the case. I'm not saying I understand everything, but all I'm saying, I'm a human. I've been in different environments. I have adapted. I have evolved. I have changed my ways to suit a different environment. If I can do that, anyone can. And that's all I'm saying.
Especially, black people here talk about, CPT. Black people.
Yeah.
CPT.
Oh, yeah.
But like, for example, if an African person, if you want them to be on time, I'll tell you right now, if you need them to be there at 5 o'clock, right? Just say 7.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, guys, I think I just leave it at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was MUCHIRI. We appreciate him coming to the channel and defend his position. Actually, it's crazy how many people have made videos reacting to the truth that I have been speaking on this YouTube streets. Even O'Shea's staff, Kenganda people, they also made video. But hey, the truth shall set us all free. I don't make this stuff up. You guys know this. And most of you Africans that are about the truth, I'm speaking nothing but facts. The moment you take the cotton balls out of your ears and remove that veil from your eyes, you would know exactly what I'm talking about here. And for those of you that have an issue with my beautiful American flag, look, I don't know what to tell you, man. Seriously, I don't know what to tell you. If you hate America so much, this is the wrong channel for you, because you're going to be seeing this flag. Okay? You're going to be seeing this flag. I am not here, to try to, change your mind from being a hater to a lover of, this place. If it's hell for you, guess what? It ain't hell for me. But again, it was a beautiful conversation. We agreed to disagree, even though he believed that Kenya or Nairobi is a great place. But hey, it is what it is, okay? Some people would disagree with it. But from what he's telling me, the majority of Africa is not that way. And people that are saying, oh, I hate Africa. That's why I'm talking about Africa this way. Well, that's because you do not want Africa to improve. You are ashamed of being an African. You don't stand up for the truth. I see what real work can do. Seriously, I see it here in America and in other places. So there's no reason for us to pretend like that cannot be done in Africa. Why can't Africans be held accountable? Why can't we tell Africans that they're being lazy? How come? Because maybe that's what they need to hear. Because sometimes when people are conditioned to believe certain things about themselves, it takes individuals like me to come out and say, look, man, they've been lying to you. They are making you feel lazy. You can do better than this. You don't need the Chinese or Japanese, the Indians or whoever to build things for you. You can learn to do it yourself. And it was interesting for MUCHIRI to argue a position of, limitation for Africans. That was pretty weird to me. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been here for 3 and a half hours. It's been a great conversation. Hey, even Mamizi really enjoyed it. And one of these days, I want to bring up Mamizi too, so we can hear her perspective, because I think she has some great perspectives. And people, I really enjoyed this conversation. And Mishuri, guys, go and subscribe to his channel. He's got good perspectives as well, and I like somebody who gives a pushback, even though he's wrong in a lot of his ideas about things, but only a conversation can clear that up. But hey, without further ado, I'm out.